Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
All right. How is everybody doing out there today? It's Elder Ariaga Bar. I am back with another show on Tuesday night with GOCC Media. Good to see everybody out there. Hopefully everybody is blessed and doing okay. Yes. Tonight we have a show for you guys, and it's going to be a good show because this is where the world is heading. And like I told you guys, a lot of times this is one of the least viewed topics, I would say, when it's one of the most complained about or spoken about when it comes to our people. So, which is kind of confusing. But guess what? We can only preach to those who have ears to hear, like Christ said. You know what I mean? Everybody talks about it, and this is our people. When it's the last minute, that's when they're going to want to put oil in that lamp. Elders, what are we going to do? Hey, it happened just when it was time for us to leave and go to Egypt when we first started this church. Elder would come on, and he told the people, I'm going to transition just like Enoch. And guess what? When he was gone, because they didn't believe he was going to be gone, those blog talks, Elder Martin them know, you're rocking them know, and little by little, you understand, you transition off. And then, where's everybody at? Then you have some people just popping up where we were. Yeah, I've been down for the long. Let me tell you, you wasn't putting your money in. You wasn't putting nothing in. You just one of those people who you were a last minute type of person, and you just ended up there. Now, praise the Most High. If you still around through that, I'm sure you even learned how this thing works, especially if you read about Enoch. So we can't force anyone to put oil in their lamps. Okay, everybody has to also seek out their own soul and salvation, meaning you have a responsibility for yourself as well to do these things if you see where everything is going. But that's neither here nor there. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Good to see everybody out there. My sister, Miss Kim Wiggins from KD Naturals. Reek, Judah. Man, you got the name off Game of Thrones. Reek. Yeah, Reek. From the Game of Thrones. I don't know what that's about. Who we got? Marlon, Terrence Brown, Shalom. I'm just saying Shalom really quick. You know, sometimes I just go straight in. Flazelia Walls. How you guys doing? Walking Faith, Shalom. Good to see everybody. I hope you guys learn something tonight, because I'm going to be dropping some key information, and I'm going to tell you, for those of you who knew me and are getting to know me, and those who know me from the beginning, I'm always real. It's not the thing of when people say I'm real just because they're trying to be deep and don't care about people's feelings. No, I'm going to speak things about reality to actually help you guys save money and time. Okay, so this is what, and make sure your health is on point. So this is the Truth Preparation Show. All right, this is the main category of my shows. It's Truth Preparation. And as you see, we are in these times. Trump is already talking about, hey, September is going to be a great month. when it comes to these finances and stuff, but only those who have an ear to hear understand what he's even talking about, and those are the people who have been following our church. All right. How would I advise on? Guess what, Danielle? I can't just answer that question right now. So what you can do is when I open up the calls, you can go ahead and ask me when I open up the calls. But great question. Great question. I have a lot of things that I haven't talked about with countless research. Some things I can't even put on here, but let me tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm running a business, running a church, gardening, homeschooling, doing a lot at the same time. Raising cattle, it's just not as easy as you think. So we're going to talk about these things tonight. But before we start, can you guys please allow me to actually give some announcements to people who may be new. Shalom, Sister Danielle. Shalom, Christopher, and to Wilder Bryant. Can you guys allow me to make an announcement that our church needs to give for those who may miss it? Because we have a new academy coming, and I don't want anyone to miss it. If you miss it on A Gathering 144, you're going to come back and get it here. So let me just really quick, if you guys don't mind. Okay, I got that on my notes really quick. Hold up. Let me make sure this thing is one second, guys. It's one second. If you guys don't mind, let me fix something really quick. I got my notes here, but something it's glitching, so I need to fix this really quick, if you guys don't mind. Let me get that. Let's see if it's fixed. There we go. We're back. It sometimes this thing glitches a little bit. I don't know, for whatever reason. I can't stand it, I'll be honest with you. But you'll have it on one page and it's showing something else. Lord have mercy. So we got our academy right here. I want to show this really quick. Let me bring it in a little bit more for you guys. There we go. So I am at the website. Can I put it in the chat for you guys, if you don't mind? Let me put it in the chat for you, even though I can say it easily. But let me just put it in the chat. Let me bring the view back where it needs to be. Let me put this in the chat. Shalom once again to everybody who's just coming in. Make sure you hit the like button so that we can... oh, Reek is part of your name. Ain't that something? That's all good. Yeah, it was somebody on Game of Thrones named Reek. Anyway, I'm going to put the website inside of the chat there. Okay? So, all right, so right now we're on historytimes.org. Okay? I'm bringing this out because this is something we do every Sunday. It's called our Hebrew and Bible Academy. And it's 3 months. It's biblical lessons. It helps to support our work. You understand what I'm saying? And let's get it here. The theme of it is going to be Revelation, the mysteries of the spiritual realm, starting Sunday, September 7th. All right. I will be coming on. I was supposed to come on last Academy, actually. But I could not be on. So I will be on this Academy here, speaking about some things when it comes to the health that I can't just say on YouTube in every aspect. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it on on the Academy. So stay tuned for that. Okay. And that's going to be September 7th, 2025. 9 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time. All right. This Academy's theme, once again, is the Revelation, the mysteries of the realm. The lessons, let me get them really quick. Creation, the origin of the spiritual realm, tracing the serpent seed, how Lucifer became the chief Satan. because his name was Lucifer at first, okay? So they go into all of that. A lot of times I'm hearing people in the Christian church say that their pastors are telling them that they can't actually go, you understand, into the book of Revelation for whatever reason. But we can, okay? They just don't know what they're talking about. So, and in a sense, it's better for them not to speak on what they don't know they're talking about. But guess what? We're going to speak it to you. And not only will we speak it in the academy, we also speak it on Saturdays in these lessons. But the whole deal is the academy is put together like a school to where you actually get things a real time in its proper transition of how everything transpired. Let's say it like that, okay? Totally organized, totally straight to the point, simple, and you're going to have a great time learning. The next one, let's see here. Christ and the keys to the spiritual warfare. Christ and the keys to spiritual warfare. Most people are sometimes getting so carnal and they are preparing for some physical battle that the Bible never said that we would have physically. Now, there will be a war, but that war will come upon Christ's return, and the angels and the 144,000 will help to fight that war, okay? There's no thing about, it's not going to be similar to these movies. You have to be really careful with Esau and their movies and their Hollywood, because don't forget, Hollywood is an actual, it's a wand. Pay attention to this land of the fallen angels. I mean, it's Los Angeles, the land of angels. Okay, that's what it means, the angels. California, it has the name, when you split it, California, Cali, or Kali. And then you have Fornia, which is fornication or pornea. That place there that's why it's getting judged like that. That in New York. New York has that Statue of Liberty, Nimrod's mom chilling up there, simultaneously being a hermaphrodite. This is why these two places, when it was in 2020, they were still not opening back up during the time of, COV. You understand, ID. Because they got these democratic laws to keep our people down. This is the truth about it. Stop taking offense because you grew up in these places. Who gives a damn? You're not from these places. Our people are from Israel. That's it. Because guess what? I'm from Texas, and they're building AI centers here. These places are not our homes. Okay? Israel is our home. So let's focus on that. The Most High is going to move us from one place to the next on His time. All right? So, Christ and the keys to spiritual warfare. Very important for you to understand that to make it through this time. So if you want to tote that spiritual strap, if you want to be armored up spiritually with an extra clip, and I'm speaking older folks for the young and the youth, because this is how they speak today, right? If you want to tote that spiritual protection, like Christ says, sell your cloak and get a sword. You have the physical one, but you really have to have that spiritual one, because there's so many traps and snares. So we have to understand how to fight spiritually. So check us out on historytimes.org, right? So, the craft, the priesthood of Satan versus the priesthood of God. Now, I'm going to go in a lesson really soon about the music industry and how it's totally being demolished by the Most High. Totally. When it comes to this Young Thug thing, when it comes to these Lil Wayne concerts, of him just in that thing, just straight going off. And people was leaving this concert because it's punk rock and all that. The Most Highs really have taken the spell off of what's really going on with Hollywood. It's over. If you're still trying to get rich and famous, give it a try. Be ready to open your back door, because that's just the truth about it. And if you've been paying attention recently to what came out with Young Thug and all that, they open the door to let you know everybody's doing it. People can say they're not doing it, but oh man, no, let me tell you, Hey, most of these people, most of them, not all of them, most of them are getting down. I'm going to tell you right now. You're not going to make money with the devil, sleep in the bed with the devil, and he don't have something on you. He'll send you to jail, and then after that, he's taking your finances from you, and he's taking your catalog. Y'all guys don't see the pattern. So we're going to go in there and show how the Most High is totally demolishing it, as he spoke about in Revelations 18, saying there will be no more musicians in Babylon. It's over. There's no money in music. You spend more money trying to make money in music. They'll tell you how the billboards is a scam, how you pay money for views, it's been payola before I was in the truth, guys, over 20 years ago. Been payola. There was a time where I was young, you can get on the radio. I was on the radio in Texas and Louisiana. You didn't need money in that time. It became payola through Clear Channel and all that, to where you had to pay for everything. I had to pay to get on major mixtapes with major artists, Mobb Deep, G on it, all of these different things. Let me tell you, it's all payola for you to try to get recognized. Okay? And it's all good because it's marketing. They will put Drake up. Drake already got 1 million views before one person listened to his song. Me and Lion and King could have been on Billboard years ago. We could have paid money to be top on the charts at Billboard. It just takes money. So I don't want our people falling into this idolatry that the world is falling into, when this thing is just the Jewish people are the ones coming out on top at the end of the day. So if it's a marketing tool, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, because consumers don't understand business. So I get it. It's a marketing tool. But if you really want to make some real money, you're going to pay more money buying chains, jewelry, clothing, marketing, paying to get here, paying to get on that. Oh, I can get you in this spot, paying to get on that. Before you didn't, all the money that you didn't pay, you realize you ain't even make nowhere close to that. So we gonna drop that on you. Okay, we're gonna drop that on you because people still have their little music dreams. Man, make your own business, make your own record label, and do your own thing. You don't need these people. And I've been teaching this before the truth, so you don't need them. All right? Anyway, Christ and the keys to spiritual warfare, the craft, the priesthood of Satan versus priest of God. Look, Elder Dale said, pay with your manhood. Yeah. If you're ready to pay with your manhood, and put on the hood of man, because you're going to have to wear one of them hoods in the dark circles. You're going to be hopping in the shower with Ray J and Kai Sanat, the new young streamers to degrade our young men out there. They're showing Ray J and these new young streamers hopping in the shower together. It's just ridiculous. Live on Instagram. Crazy madness. Degradation of our nation. Let's continue. AI technology and the mark of the beast. You definitely want to be in the know on that. Are you paying attention to the digital currency of what's going on right now? We talked about that book, me and Yurok, and I talked about it with my wife and some others. That old book that it's pretty much talking about Trump in that book. And how the prices of gold, he will mess up the prices of gold in the economy, really only to bring a one world order in government. They're white magic. They're just dropping information on you. Guys, what's worth more than gold right now? What's worth more? Nothing will ever be actually worth more than gold. It's impossible for digital money to be worth more than gold, but not in this society. Because if they're using it to operate, if they're using credit, where people, back in the day, people could say, oh, I don't care about my credit. You might not want to be talking about like that right now, because the price of your insurance, whether life insurance, car insurance, no matter what it is, they're looking at it. Your digital fingerprint, let me tell you, it's very important right now. And I'm not saying these things are good. I'm telling you, this is where we are before the mark of the beast is totally infiltrated. It's already here. Some fools already taking it. Some of the rich are already taking it. Okay? Guys, it's been around since the 1940s that they were testing it. So it's here. When I came back, I prepared myself not to carry around cash. One, I didn't want to get robbed. Two, I knew that Asia was already ahead of the game when it came to artificial intelligence. 10 years ahead of us. So they do beta tests and things like that in China. And then they bring things over here. Okay, so I haven't carried cash since I came back here. If you look, I was just teaching my children this through some financial literacy today before I left to the gym, about how the price of silver, since silver has been on the market, let's give an example from 2012. And, you know, when you look at today, it went from like $30 to like $41. That's like $10. At least it moves on the market. It's not bad to keep. I've kept silver since I've been in Egypt. I kept silver before I left, but the whole deal is you can't carry it on the planes. You can't carry enough of it on the planes. Not a whole lot of it. I'm just telling you the truth. There's no debate about this. This is facts. I've traveled with this stuff to know what I'm talking about. You can't travel with, you know, $10,000. You got to have a dollar below $10,000 to travel with cash. So they have these good excuses, which are really deception, of why they're bringing in this digital money. Okay, and in that book it talked about this man messing up. I forget the title of the book, but you guys know what book I'm talking about. How they're promoting it online, saying the last president. I forget the author, but how he messed up gold. It's already been messed up. It will never be messed up truly, because at the end of the day, they're still holding and keeping the gold, knowing its worth. But at the same time, to deal with the cattle and the people and the consumers who live in society, it's just some air. It's just air. It's just digital air that's worth something now with numbers. And Trump have came out with something, a stable coin called USD1. You had USDC, you have Tether, you have these stable coins that on these crypto markets, they don't make money, but you can hold your money there after your gains. And yeah, Bitcoin have already surpassed the amount of an ounce of gold, an ounce of silver. I was showing my children how when I came here, it was at $6,000. If you would have kept it into this time, it's $111,000. And for people who thinks it's a scam, it's not a scam. You can actually take money out of the bank. And I'm not saying this for you to be excited. I'm just telling you the truth from fiction, from falsehood. It is true, but it will transfer to the mark of the beast. So this is not some get rich thing. We are already rich in the spirit. What we need to be focusing on is making it through this time. Everything here is a tool. The most important thing is our souls right now. Right? Let me tell you, I remember Bitcoin $13. It's at $111,000. Right? You bought 5 of them for $65. You'd have about $555,000 right now. It just shows you how we really need to understand and continue to learn, because we're never going to learn it all, because Esau knows how to play in this system. They know how to go bankrupt, start another business, do it again, put things in a trust. We're going to have to continue to sit down with our families and learn the best we can. So tonight I thought about something that's even more important than that to a certain degree. It's feeding yourself. Food is the best currency. All right? Before that, it's going to be the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. So we're talking about Joseph. The Most High came to him and warned him to help his people to make it through with wisdom before food. Then it was the food that he sold to the people. He didn't say, hey, all the poor come in and get the food. No. Because if he would have did that, all of the corn and the resources would have toppled Egypt. The poor shall always be among you. You can help a few poor, but if everybody will call themselves poor when they don't have to do nothing. When you tell them they don't have to do anything. So the Most High made Joseph sell the corn for people, and guess what? Most High could have felt sorry, like, well, man, these people traveling all over the place doing this. He didn't. The Most High is all about the wise. That's why he'll say, give these to the wise. So sometimes our people have it all wrong because we're Israelites. That it's just because our forefathers been through stuff, we got to feel sorry for people and all that. No, we're all going to work together to build our kingdom brick by brick. You got the top of the government, and you have the lower who has to continue to work hard and learn from those who are teaching to get to the top. Nothing's for free. Then you have those who just can't do anything, they're not able. And that's where we get together and we make sure that these people are good. So you have to understand how a system and a government works. All right? So I just wanted to throw that out there really quick. Since we're talking about this academy, you get world news, you learn Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, not the new Yiddish, which it's okay to learn that too. I still know some Arabic, man. I still know pretty good Arabic. I know when I left, I forgot how to speak Spanish because I'm in Texas. I was speaking pretty good Spanish, and then now I know more Arabic. So, but it's all good. We have a lot of Northern Kingdom in our church now. Praise the Most High, right? So once again, this is a 3-month online academy, starting from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You do get PDF booklets to go along with your course. If you can't be there on the Sunday, the lessons are recorded. All right. So I wanted to put that out there really quick. I'll give you another reminder at the end of our study today. All right. Let me get my notes. And I want to show you something, man. I want to show you something. So you want a homestead, right? We're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts. People, Elder, how you do this? How you do that? Let me tell you, most of our people are not homesteading. They're living in cities of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, modern day. In Egypt, present Egypt. Don't forget, people, God didn't call Egypt Egypt. He called it Matazarium in Hebrew. In English, that would be Mizraim. When I lived in Egypt, in Arabic, they call it Mazri. The same thing that God calls it. Egypt is just a nickname. Okay? It really just means captivity or slavery, bondage. When we came over here in ships, it's not literal Egypt here. This is just a place of bondage, literally. So when he says, I shall not suffer my people, when they talk about in Ezra, to live in the land of Egypt anymore, he's talking about to be in bondage anymore. All right, that's what he means. He's not talking about, we're not in ancient Egypt right now. Okay, some of our people are there, but I'm saying the awakening came from this place. This is where the awakening came from. From Judah. Spreading across the 4 corners of the earth. All right? Judah, pay attention because you are leading. You're leading this. All right? We're going to talk about soon, too, about you have these Edomites and these other nations continue to want us to go out there and protest on the streets. They're desperate. Our people are not falling for the traps anymore. So we'll be talking about that soon enough. All right? So, you want a homestead, huh? All right, let me go into it. So, most people dream about buying land, raising animals, and living free. That's the American dream. When you ride by and you see the picket fences, the white picket fences in these houses, in the quiet peace. Now, it does come with a little bugs. But if you know how to operate, that's not going to be an issue too. But 80% of new homesteaders, let me make this view a little bigger for me. Yeah, I need to make it bigger. There we go. There we go. Excuse me, guys. When you're talking for 3 hours, you get dry mouth. Everything happens. That's why you got to have a little liquid there. So, let's get back to it. Raising animals and living free. But 80% of new homesteaders quit within the first 3 years. So while you're watching your YouTube and all of this stuff, YouTubers have learned to come on there to try to make income. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people will watch another person's YouTube, guys, make the same video as if they have been experts, and that's just not right. You have a few honest YouTubers who will say, I learned this from this channel, and give credit where it's due. I remember the Hebrew guy. He is, what's the guy's name? Years ago, I've been watching him. He's out there in Seattle. Some of you may know him. He made the strawberry crate towers, and then some white people came and took credit for his actual design. And this is what they do. And I love Led the Form and all these people, but they were hating on this man. Okay, I think he was Urban's Best Gardener or something like that. They were hating on this guy because he was preaching about the truth as well as gardening. Okay, and they would just hate on him and take credit for things that were not theirs. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's get back to it. So people quit about in their first 3 years some people move back to the HOAs. No, you're not supposed to see it yet. You're not supposed to see it yet. These are my notes. I'm just talking right now. I'm going to show you some videos. Okay. So yes, many people quit. Why? Because they didn't know these do's and don'ts. Let's break them down so you don't make the same mistakes. Okay? And quit. All right? So we're going to go over a few of the do's, but I'm going to give you a little history back into when I first started and came on my land, man. Let's see, can I find some of these old videos really quick? Let me see here. And I have a Homestead channel, but I'm so busy with other things. I'm fixing things, like I said, to where if another storm comes, it's not going to continue to tear it down because you put a lot of money in these things. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Some of you have seen some of these things. I'm going to try to go all the way back. Let me see. I'm going to show you this part here. This is my channel long ago. I used to bring other people from the church on here and all that, but I stopped doing that. People were not consistent enough. So we started to bring it now on GOCC Media. So that's what kind of helped to bring me here too. So I'm going to show you here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Fair use, educational purposes only. Let me see. They might have some ads or something like that. So let's let these ads go away really quick. Get the volume up. Make sure y'all can hear it when I got it. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Let's see here.
But today, we decided to grab a few trees, and I'll show you which ones we have here. Pretty neat trees. The first one I'm going to show you is...
So I'll turn the volume down. I'll give my commentary. So here you just see me shopping for fruit trees. Shopping for fruit trees. I'm going to tell you one of the do's and don'ts on this. Know which trees are native to your area. Understand this too. Buy trees according to your knowledge, according to your grow zone. Some trees are self-fertile. Some trees need another tree, like if you have an avocado, and you need another type of avocado sometimes because it's not self-fertile. And then they will actually be able to create fruits. Sometimes you guys buy fruit trees and get excited. And this is what I had to learn years ago. I knew this in Egypt. But the tree, sometime when I was in Egypt, I'm like, why is my trees not growing any fruits? Somebody said, you need two type of trees. Okay? Very similar to a male and a female, something like that, right? Which that in society, guys, they have so many of one type of tree. Either they'll have too many female trees and not enough males, and that's why pollen is all over the place. That's another thing that's going on. So you need sometimes to look up when it comes to your trees before you spend all of your money. Do I need two types of trees of the citrus or this or that? Is it self-fertile? Can I get one plum tree and it works out. So I wanted to just put that out there really quick. A really good tip that many people may not know. You may think some of these people know, they may not know. All right. And this is when I was actually still transitioning from my HOA to my actual land here. So I had my chickens. You understand, even in my HOA, guys. So here I am clearing land. Let's talk about clearing land. Boy. I was clearing some land in the beginning. You know how let me tell you something. I got a lot of Cherokee in me, okay? I could be Gad, but people think I'm Judah because of, I don't know why. They like, nah, you got to be Judah. But whatever, whichever one I am. I got a lot of Cherokee in me on both sides of the family. But we talk about these stories. So you know what the forefathers did? They did this, they did that. Not knowing we're still in captivity. Trying to do everything the way our forefathers did. We're not built that way. I'm going to tell you right now. They were born into that. You were born in captivity. You got to go out here and work 9 to 5. Even if you own your own business, your time is gone. If you're not making enough money where you're living off the land and you don't have to just get finances like that, this is going to be it's going to be a challenge. Not a bad challenge, but you're going to have to create a system. That's why we call it. So you want a homestead? We're going to tell you the do's and the don'ts. Not only from Elder REI. If some of you are homesteaders, you can call in today. I'm going to try not to make the lesson so long. I don't really have any scriptures today. It's more of a engagement today. So you can tell us about some of your do's and don'ts. And I'm not talking about some person who's in an apartment with a few chickens. Nothing against you. But I'm talking about people who actually do this. Who actually been doing this. Not new homesteaders. Now, if you as a new homesteader have learned something really good that's beneficial, cool. But if you got 2 chickens and you're planting 1 cucumber, planting a pepper, I'm not trying to condescend, but we talking about helping to build a nation here. That's cute and you're doing good. But we really have to take this serious because this is going to be our life. This is going to be our life. So that's not to discourage you. But honestly, a lot of people will also start and think that they have a few plants on the patio, or, even if they have land, they planted 2 cabbages. Once you take the 2 cabbages, where the rest of the cabbage at, baby? Where's the other cabbage coming from? You got to go back to the grocery store. So this is not, that's what I'm saying, okay? Let's check this out. This young guy right here. I don't know who he think he is. Thinking he gonna come and start chopping down Mother Nature and Mother Nature's trees, like the old Indians, old Indians. Right? Listen. Clearing land. As you watch this while I'm talking, clearing land. I would suggest that if you want to have a little fun, get you an axe. If you want to have a little fun and you want to work out, get you an axe. But if you actually want to really do this the correct way, some do's. Hey, go and rent you a wood chipper yourself, or pay a company, a fair company, to go in there and bulldoze it or chip the wood. Or find a company who actually needs places to dump their wood chips like I did. I found a place because I did not have the priorities of, at the moment, I didn't know my land would flood. They told me it wasn't in a flood zone. They lied. It was old rice fields. So you have to know what type of land to buy. If you're buying old rice fields, old farmlands, honestly, you're going to need to bring that land up. So we'll talk about that. But they told me it's not in a flood zone and it wasn't on the map. But that doesn't mean it didn't flood. So I had water up to almost my knee in some areas that I had to actually build the land up with. So you see me right here. I'm not going to lie to you. I was actually having fun. These trees were in the way. my goal was not to take all these trees down. But I'm telling you, some people, when they clear land, they'll actually do this. And there's nothing wrong with it. But you have to make it through this whole thing. You have to make it through the whole race. And I'm a strong guy. I think I'm above average strong. If you know me, I'm above average strong. So, this was still pretty hard, pretty challenging. I had a lot of fun because I had never done it before. But after a while, you say, you know what? You start to feel like you need some servants. You start to feel like you need some servants. Even though you enjoy this, you do start to feel like, man, we should have never fell away from the laws of God. Right? 1 minute. I need to, 1 second. You guys watch this while I fix this really quick. All right, I'm back. We had to make sure this battery didn't go out on this camera here. So yes, back to it. I chopped down so many trees in this little area, but I'm gonna tell you once again some do's and don'ts. Go ahead and get someone to do this.
It was not easy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, so who said need a chainsaw? We had a chainsaw, but I wanted to get the experience of doing this. And I'm going to tell you, a chainsaw is a good, affordable tool. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to pay in time or do you want to pay in money? You're going to pay in one of them. You also may pay in doctor's bills if you get hurt. Chopping off a finger, chopping off a foot. If you're not sound when it comes to some of these things, yeah, this is very important. You have wood chippers who will say, you know what, I'll come and, chip your wood if you, you know what I mean? It all varies. Sometimes people will pay you money if you have lumber on your land, right? And they'll come and chop those trees down for that. So that's some do's and some don'ts when it comes to that part. So yeah, you see me chop a few trees down, but it gets tiring. It gets tiring. All right. Yes, here I'm doing very. Let me go here for you.
Cost of doing many things, not just the finances, but the time of cutting the grass, the maintenance. You have to know what you're going for and have a plan. Getting the water well, the septic, the electricity, all the contractors to build the foundations, or
let's talk about this. The concrete pad if you're building a house, the select field pad if you're building a mobile home or you're going to live in an RV. I'm going to tell you something. Let me pause this video. One thing I'm going to tell you guys. Pay attention to the contractors. I'm a guy who I respect men and I don't like to be over men all day. I respect men. I didn't like when I used to work in jobs and people just be over me and I'm like, you good? Because I made sure that I did my job. But everybody don't have that integrity. I'll tell you, when I got my mobile home, that was the first home that we decided to get. And obviously we have plans now because of this weather, to build something stronger, like a steel building or something like that. Okay, that's aerodynamic and all of that, no matter what hurricanes and stuff come. But the mobile home still does it though. It literally does. But I'm saying, if you have to know your situation, sometimes you'll start off with one thing and you have planned to get to something else. But a mobile home is a great start. It can move. You can move it from one place to the next. That's a good part about it. But I'm going to say something. some dues. Do your due diligence with the contractors. Stay on their behind. No LGBT. Stay on their behind. No puffy. Okay? Stay on it, because these guys did not do my cabinets right. My cabinets a few months later start falling off, and me and my wife just like, we giving this contractor, you need some water, you need some Gatorade, all of this stuff. You know, we're good charitable people. And to the point to where I kind of want to put my hands on them after about a year or two. I want to put my hands on them. Because I'm like, man, this good feeling thing that God bless us with, it's not good in every situation. Business is business. It really, really ticked me off. As if I had ticks crawling on me. It ticked me off. That's what I mean. And my pad that you see here, this white guy comes with a cigarette. Oh, I'll have this down in 30 minutes. Come to find out, brother, you didn't put enough dirt down. So I'm telling you some do's and don'ts from my experience. Some other people can call in and give some advice or experience. Get a higher pad than the rest of your ground. Had I known this land flooded, and I would say you should go there on a rainy day to see how it really looks. Had I known this land flooded, I would have made a higher pad. Not only that, I would have just paid some money and been patient to get somebody with some tractors to come out there and just go ahead and dig me a pond. And even if you don't have enough money to dig a pond, just dig you like a water catcher. It's basically kind of like a pond, but it don't really hold water. It'll drain water in. I would have had somebody dig that, use that dirt to build my pad for my home. Because once I started to build around my land, then my home, the ground, I praise the Most High, the mobile homes are on like steel, strong steel. But as you raise the other land, then that ground is going to be low. So do your due diligence in getting you a very big pad, making sure it's high enough and it's sloped down. And then from there, once again, beforehand, look at the land first. See where you want the house. See how far you can afford to drag the electricity out. Because it may be thousands of dollars. If you have to drag the electricity out, guys, let's say 6 acres down. Oh, you're going to pay thousands of dollars. You're going to pay thousands of dollars. I'm just telling you the truth. So you need to know, am I going to have this house on the front part of the land? Or is this going to be in the deal? Or am I going to get a loan? You have to know. You have to know about these things. Okay, this is not something where we get together and get some clay on our hands out the dirt and we building things. And I'm going to give these guys credit. They go hard in the paint. Some of these people from Thailand and all that, you see them building all of this stuff with clay. But guys, those people, their soil is very light. They're already about bodies of water where their soil is, they can dig it with wood. I wish you would, no pun intended, come out here to Texas with this gumbo soil and the southern part and think you're going to dig something with some wood. It's going to break your shovel. Let alone some wood. You ain't finna build no mud huts, no clay houses out here. Unless you have some machinery. And then the county gonna come out and be like, what we doing here? We have a little community that's building mud huts and no. We have a community who's living with yurt tents. And when you build that yurt tent, you're gonna find yourself with some field mice. You're gonna find yourself when the 100 or the 70 miles per hour tornado comes, your yurt tent is blown away. If you get an RV and you guys have crazy storms, it is wisdom to anchor your RV down. I've learned these things over time. Anchor it down. The RVs usually last through most storms, though. I will put it there. They do. But you have to know how to live in it. It is a skill living in RVs. Some people are smart. They will get them something called a park model. Okay, they have things called park model RVs. They're more close and similar to mobile homes. So if it's just you and the wife, you don't really got no kids, honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes after a while, you may get tired of it. This is the reality. When you see us putting out information, hey, get you an RV, do this, do that, there's nothing wrong with it. But make sure that you can afford to keep it together. When the storms come, you got to get up there and put tape on the RV, make sure there's no leaks in it, put RV sealant. I had to do all of that. All right, but this is what I didn't like about the RV. Sitting there and I'm paying insurance on it all day. And then when hailstorms come, if it's not 5 years and above, they won't give you the full compensation or benefit from, incentive from your insurance from the hailstorms and stuff. So I'm just keep it real with you. I personally selling my RV personally, but that's my plans. That don't mean I'm not going to still have one. I'm looking at the times, but if it's sitting there and I'm just giving money, the investment for me of just paying money in insurance, and the storms are coming and I'm paying more money to fix it. So if you're going to do that, my advice, they have something called RV share and things where you can do like a Turo and rent your RV out, let it pay for itself instead of it just sitting there collecting dust and rodents and rats and stuff like that. Because that's what usually happens. I'm going to tell you the truth. I had bought 2 RVs so far, if not 3. I think I bought like 2 or 3 RVs, and I think I traded one, and then I ended up trading another one. But then after that, I'm like, well, I'm only using this thing once or twice a year. I'm paying some crazy insurance on this thing, and these storms seem to not stop coming. When you don't operate it, the rodents come and find a way in, the cats try to find a way in. You have to make sure you get on top of that roof or pay somebody to come and maintenance it. The lights will bust. The ACs will stop working. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to give y'all some wisdom. If you get one, you may not have it right now, but the wisdom is have a cover for it. Have an RV cover. Some people get RVs and they turn them into Airbnbs. Right around the corner from me, they have an RV with a nice deck. And because somebody's using it, it's a little different because they're actually getting an incentive from somebody using it. But you can pay the highest money for the newest RV. They have the same issues and same problems. I'm going to tell you that too. They have the same issues and same problems. You can buy a 2025. That 2025 going to have the same problems as a 1993. It can leak. The slides might stop working. The motors. Am I being negative? No. I'm telling you to prepare for these things. Prepare your finances. Prepare you getting outside every few days to empty the septic line of your RV. Prepare yourself to do that. I'm not saying it's negative. I'm telling you, prepare yourself for this. This is not something where it's just easy. Oh, let's kumbaya, get together, we're on land, and you get around the bonfire. No. It takes work. So today I told you I was going to come on here with the do's and don'ts. This is not to discourage you. This is to show you, hey, once we came into captivity, we was like, woo, because we had everything we needed in Israel. The government ain't giving us nothing. We got to work for everything we have, which is not bad. That's a good part. But we're working 3 times as hard as every other nation. Let me tell y'all something as a side note. I rode through this land with my wife, Sugar Land, where it used to be our people slaving on these sugarcane crops. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I felt what Paul was talking about, provoke our people to jealous. I was jealous. I'm not a hater, ever. I've never been a hater. I don't know how to hate on people. But because I've been to these people's countries and I know how they live, East Indians, Asians, and all that, I'm not going to lie to you. I was angry. When I see them staying on lakes and houses and all of these different things, I'm talking about crisp life. Riding in cars that's not breaking down. And then I roll through the north side of Houston and I see shotgun houses and little shack houses for the people of God who are the most intelligent people on earth, who actually love him and call on his name, whether they know how to do it or not. And then I see these people. No disrespect to any other nation. If you come to Christ, I accept you. But it's hard for me to accept the people worshiping a goddess with different arms and praying to a rock. Whether they know better or not, I don't want to say anything bad about them, but I'm going to tell them, you have nothing on the children of Israel. You have nothing on the children of Israel to be able to come to a place that we built to live the way you're living and my people struggle. Oh no, you have nothing on us. We're the most talented people because our God, we're the most wisest people on earth. Right? And I hear sisters out there talking about they're going to like do a boycott. It's not going to work though, but it would be nice if they truly were serious about it on weave and all of these different things. From these hair shops and all that. It would be nice if they can continue it, but whatever. It made me mad. Here it is. We have to work so hard to try to get out of captivity. Man, I wish we would have never failed, because the wisdom could have just been used to continue to make the earth wise and beautiful. You got people who don't know how to rub two nickels together, but come over here, can't speak a lick of English. When they tell us you got to pass this grade on this test, when it comes to English, he can't even speak English, and he passing me up. It don't make sense. But I'm telling you, we need to work hard at what we're talking about, guys. Because when you see that, I'm talking about, it's so clean over there. And I just see the Arabs and same people, Arabs, East Indians, Chinese, and Esau, playing with their little children, not worrying about nothing. We're gonna have to learn, stick together, and fight through this whole thing, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. That's just a side note, because I'm telling you right now, what I'm telling you, it's not easy out here, even when you make money. Because when you finally make money, they're gonna take the taxes from you. So then you're gonna have to learn how Esau and these Gentiles play this little game. Right? It's like a maze or a puzzle for them to not take the taxes from you. Now it's better for you to buy a car. So if you buy a car now, $32,000, 2025, and you might owe $30,000 in taxes, now you don't have to pay them. Now you actually need the car, so you don't pay the taxes. Guys, this is how it comes when you want to learn business and be where they are. It's not going to take you just wanting to get on land and say, we're here, we got it. And our people are smart, but I'm here today to talk about the do's and the don'ts to save you from time and spending your money and your frustration and your anxiety. And I don't give up. I learn and I move on and I say, okay, I got that. I see that. And I came and dove out here for the people, knowing that this is what life is going to be. And it still has to be realistic. I remember going out there to Egypt and people were trying to just have babies at home. And the elder used to say, hey, we're not there yet. Because we're so zealous. We want to follow our God and the old laws and every little thing. But we failed from those things. In captivity, we have some better technology now than when we were in the land of Israel. Tell me our God don't love us. We have some better technology now than when we were in the land of Israel. Now, Esau is using it all wrong when it comes to convenience and stuff, but our God loves us. Right? But let's get back on topic here. So, once again, you see me dealing with these trees. These trees are hundreds of pounds when you're carrying them. Hundreds. Like this one here. This tree right here, even though it's a stump, this tree probably weighs 180 pounds. It's not light. I'd rather have an excavator or something. I had my little old van when I came in at that time before we got some new vehicles. Let me tell you, we made it happen with what we had. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. It was not easy. I was happy that I actually finally conquered cutting a tree down.
All praises to the Most High.
Right? And let me tell you, these trees are not easy to cut down. So once again, clearing your land, you can clear 1 to 2 acres down here, and you might pay $500 to $2,000 depending. That's not bad. $500 to $2,000 depending, on the situation. That's actually not bad. So you can get you some crowded land, but understand that you want to clear a little bit out so you can live on some of it. And then in time, you can either sell the lumber, depending if you have the right wood to sell, or you can sell dirt. There's a white guy I know here. He said, man, I needed some money. He does dirt work. He said, he needed some money, so he went to go dig a big hole in his ground because he had land. Because he was losing money, and he just started selling the dirt. They help him pay his bills. So you can make money off the land, off of the lumber. People need wood chips at factories every day. If you got good pine trees, whoo, you can make you some good money. These are good ways to make money. If you have machinery, you can rent your tractors out. Now, obviously, you want to get some insurance on it, because whoever you rent it out to, they're not going to use it like you. They're going to tear it up, and then you can just get you a new one. Okay? So, LD Rock said, chopping trees is one of the best testosterone boosters out there. No exaggeration. Ha ha! Listen, that thing takes some work, but it is fun. But long term, if you guys are trying to clear land, obviously, these are the choices that you have to look at, okay? So, growing food, we're still in the dudes, growing food. Let me drink me a little bit of this good old magnesium. Make sure you get your magnesium from KIIYSupplements.com. I drink it a little bit half day and some at night, and boy, do I sleep amazing. We got the magnesium powder. So, anyway, growing food, raising animals, escaping the system. These are some good dudes. All right? But do you know why you want to get the land? Is it for growing food? You have to know why. Huh? Do you want to get land because Elder said it? Or do you truly need it? Do you want to grow food? Do you want to raise animals? Or are you trying to escape the system like Lot and getting out of the city? Like Christ said in Matthew 24. If your reason isn't strong enough, the hard days will break you. Homesteaders with experience know what I'm talking about. Even though we still love it, we can tell you we would love to have some servants like Abraham to help us out sometime. Because if you got them little babies and they homeschool, and listen, we all going to be working, because that's just what it takes. It cannot be, it's not that easy to just think it just works by itself. You got to maintain the garden, the weeds that come up. You have to mow the lawn. Oh my goodness. You better make sure. You know how many lawnmowers I bought off of Facebook Marketplace? And I had the money to buy some new ones. But you know, sometimes you try to be a little cheap. You know, men don't like spending money. I bought me some John Deere. Let me tell you, I had the hand mowers. I got the riding mowers. I had bought like 2 to 4 riding mowers before. And they just kept breaking down. And I said, man, something ain't right. I'm just buying belt after belt after belt. I'm sending it to the small engine repair for them to fix it. And come to find out, I didn't pay for these lawnmowers 2-3 times every time they break, and I'm sending them to small engine repair. I got tired. I said, hold up, baby. We're going to have to resell these things. So I lost on all of those lawnmowers. I got the best guys in town to fix them. Sometimes the motors just get old, guys. So, and this is another thing I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. What I learned. Sometimes you're trying to save money, and it will put you in more of a hole. And sometimes just getting the new technology to a certain degree, not where it's going to harm you, is better. One, it keeps you a little sharp because you have to work and stay on point to actually continue to pay the bill on it. I'm not saying that's the wisest way. Just money is a defense in general. As long as you're making money, you can find wise ways to do things. But I'm just telling you how not to waste money. I went to go get, because I didn't have a truck at the time, rent Home Depot trucks, U-Hauls, to go and pick up these lawnmowers, these riding lawnmowers. I'm so excited. Me and my wife are like, we found one. We're going to get one. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. If it makes it work for you for a little time. But before I left here, I was living a certain good quality of life. When I came back, before I got on land, I was living a very good quality of life in a nice, big, nice house with a nice, huge backyard. And you're trying to really get the best of both worlds. But finances will just drain and drain and drain. You realize, oh, we got to fix this. Oh, we got to do that. And you're not trying to call everybody for everything. So, I'm not telling you I'm beat the whip. No. I'm made for this. I'm born for this. This is what I'm born for. My name is Warrior Lion. I'm telling you, if you're not like me, or the next homesteader, man or woman, up for the challenge, just sit down and see what type of homestead is best for you. Because me and my wife, we got out there laying pipe all over our land. Almost 10 acres of land we laid pipe in the 90-degree sun. Because it would have cost us from a plumber, thousands upon thousands of dollars. Yeah, almost 10 grand or more. Yes, I'm not lying. And that's not plumbing to my mobile. That's not plumbing my mobile home. Thousands upon thousands. You got to pay for the PVC or the flex pipe. Then we had the flex pipe. It kept messing up on my neighbor's land. Right? Right? So guess what? He had to take that out and put PVC. Then you got to buy the trencher. I trenched so long, my thumb went this way. I'm in a 90-degree heat because you got to bring the trencher back at a certain time. And you don't want to pay no more money. So I would say really plan it financially, starting small, and then eventually transition to grow the homestead a little bigger. If you have a community coming out there helping you, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. What he say? He set the look. Brandon Chapman say, "Elder, I set on fire the riding lawnmower." Is that what you're saying? I had to sell mine, man, and I end up just saying, you know what? Let me use this credit to my advantage. Let me tell you, just go ahead to Tractor Supply somewhere, or go to a good shop and get you one, because sometimes those riding lawnmowers, they wouldn't even cut the smallest grass. The mower got that old, even though I kept getting them to get fixed. If I paid $500 for it, every time I had to get it fixed, it was $250. So I'm like, I'm almost done buying for a new zero turn. Boy, I got that zero turn. That was the best thing I ever could have did. That's the best thing I ever could have did for my wife. Boy, she got up on that thing rolling. She flipping that thing like Deacon Alarm said, like a Cadillac. She see me out there working in that heat. She gonna come bringing me some water so her husband don't faint when she see me chasing them cows. Because the cows don't want to obey. Let me give a shout out to Deacon Arad out there. I'm going to show you how the Most High works. Deacon Arad, he says, Elder, I got an A2 bull for you. And I said, okay. So he gave me and Deacon Along got a horse out the deal, because I'm not really a horse guy. So Deacon Along got a horse out the deal. I got a nice bull, well-behaved bull, to a certain degree. He tried to get out sometime to go get him a little loving from the other little heifers out there. Like how we do in the streets. And he said, well, I said, well, how much is it going to be? He said, well, and this is the love of Israel. He said, well, once it has a baby, I'll take the baby. And I'm like, okay. But let me show you how the Most High worked. The Most High made it actually happen the way that it said. This is how you know when we come together as brethren to do things, keep our covenants and everything, and just be genuine about everything, man. It was a beautiful thing. So he has this baby. This baby, I showed y'all the little calf that came out, the bull. This baby was faster than me and every man you know the first week it was born. In 3 days, it can run an Olympic race. It got to the point where this bull, he starts getting out, running through the barbed wire, and he became a gang leader, the cow gang leader. He became the gang leader. I should call him Red Bull. Like the blood. See, So he starts getting out, eating in places he have no business. Just like his daddy and his mama. That's what they did. I was chasing a man, having to choke him, with the lasso to get him back in and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's probably time for him to go ahead and go. It's time for Deacon Arad to finally come on and get him. I hit Deacon Arad up the day he got out again. As I'm texting Deacon Arad and out there in Austin, I see the text moving. And I said, okay, he's texting me while I'm texting him. And my thought that he just got out, I'm like, hold up. Because I'm like, I had been meaning to hit my brother up. Right? He hits me up. I say, brother, I was texting you right now. He says, no way. And I told y'all know how sometime I told y'all that I'll know when I was in Egypt, I just know Elder Carl's going to call me and it'll just happen. It happened multiple times, like 3-4 times. And it'll be, I haven't talked to him in a year and a half. And the voice was, Elder Carl's about to call. And it just rings. So this is what happened with me and Arad. I'm texting him and I erased my text. Because I'm like, well, let him go ahead and text. Let me see what he's finna say. And I tell him, I said, brother, I was just texting you. And he's like, no way. He's like, you said this be happening. I said, well, this just shows the Most High. We don't need no cell phone sometime. Somehow, some way, we're going to be able to be in communication. When we all in one mind with the Most High. And so he said, well, I'm going to be out there tomorrow, whatever the case may be. We checked the schedule. So he came. I stayed up all that night building a little cattle chute because I hadn't had one built yet because I needed to slaughter some of these cows. So I had to go make a makeshift one real quick. I was up till 12 that night. Woke up to go to the gym, but he ended up beating me. So I came back to the land to get the cow. Running out there in the sun. Father have mercy. We all trying to catch the bull. And in my mind, I didn't tell nobody. I said, if this bull goes inside of this cattle chute alone, this was definitely meant for the Most High. Because I'm like, just how the text messages happen. I'm like, I set it up a certain way. And I'm like, listen, Arad, back up. I'm going to hide behind here because if he sees us, he ain't going to go in there. But I knew in my mind, I'm like, he's going to want to run by his parents. So, because I got them in like a little cattle pen right there. So, exactly how it happened. They're chasing the cattle. Because I got some more baby heifers and other cattle out there. So I got some in the pen and I got some roaming. They chasing them on the 4-wheeler. My stepson Josh is, the fighter. He's on the 4-wheeler. Right? Alam, and then you got Yatab, Officer Yatab. They all trying to help. They run outside of the gate. Then they ran back in. And then finally, I'm hiding behind. And I'm like, oh, there he go. And then that bull alone runs into the chute. I close him in there. And I said, look at the Most High. Look, like, y'all don't know, like, throughout the years, this stuff be happening. I told y'all some angelic stories before. I don't know that me and your rock had out there. And I'll tell you that another time again, but to remind you. Listen, the Most High be working. And you probably like, this have nothing to do with the lesson. Yes, it's a motivation. I want to give a shout out to my brother because the Most High end up working it all out how it's supposed to. But I want to tell you something else. Your rock, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Your rock end up having some, on his homestead, we always talk about we don't like incubating. We hate having to incubate eggs. I can't stand it. I'm like, why can't these domestic chickens why can't they just lay eggs on their own like the old chickens? We too busy for all of this stuff. All right. I got to find this remote. This fan is in my face. But, so your rock tells me, he said, man, I got a surprise. He said, guess what? He said, man, I had some chicks. He said, one of the hens been sitting on there because I had it happen before. Then she sat on there so long that she ended up dying because she wasn't eating or nothing like that. And, I said, man, you're going to have to show me how you did that. Because I can't stand having to try to incubate some eggs. Or go buy chicks. It is what it is, though. It's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. But we always try to find the old way of doing things the best we can. He's like, man, it ended up happening. And I said, man, I gotta get this together. This is exciting. I was excited the whole night. Okay? Because it's no way that you know, that this ever happened to me. The next day, my daughters go out to feed the animals on the homestead. They sent me a video. They said, Dad, guess what? We got a surprise. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is it? A snake or something? I don't feel like killing them old snakes. They showed me some little chicks. And I was like, huh? They didn't know I talked to Yurok the night before. I was like, what is the Most High doing? Hold up. Is he just trying to keep me encouraged through all of this work we have to do on this homestead, the church, and life in general? Not that I'm demotivated, but I'm like, the chances of some of this stuff is just, I don't know if he's saying, just keep doing what you're doing, guys, but he sends signs through these leaders a lot of time. I'm going to tell you right now, he be sending signs. And I tell Yurok, I say, Yurok, there's no way you just told me about chicks, and this is like never happening on homesteads. Guys, just so you know, this is not a normal thing that that chickens are sitting on their eggs anymore and just hatching. That's not a normal thing. It may happen every now and then. I don't hear about it. I don't see YouTube videos about it. But for the next day, and mind you, this chicken that I had to do it, when the fire happened on my land, it could have burnt my house up. When I told y'all they had a whole fire on the land that happened, that chicken I was trying to catch that day, that hen, because she looked like a roaming little Mexican chicken. I wasn't able to catch her. Months ago, this chicken ends up on my land on her own. It's a little black chicken. She ends up on my land and starts to just chill with my hens. Okay, she's in there. She's laying eggs sometimes. But she's a wild chicken. She kind of likes to, and it explains it because she's wild. She can jump up from the ground to like 12 feet in the air, guys, in a tree when we're trying to catch her. All of a sudden, she just lays some eggs. And it was just like, I'm going to tell you, there's something going on that we don't know about, but the Most High is definitely in control. He's watching everything we're doing, and I can't explain it all, but I'm going to tell you, this keeps happening every few years, some type of little sign of something like this. So I just said these stories for encouragement, and I want to give my brother a shout out for blessing me with that bull, and then he was now blessed back with a bull, and he has some heifers over there. I just wanted to thank my brother because it shows when you're genuine and you know, and we come together and we barter and we do things, that this thing is going to work out. All right. So even though I sidestep for a little bit, let me bring it back in. All right. And move back forward. Okay. So, let me see here. So if your reason isn't strong enough, the hard yes will break you. All right, so you have to know why you're doing your homestead, okay? Write that down. Know why. All right? Homesteading is less about land and more about the mindset. It's not about how much land you have. Guys, you can make a food forest with a 1/4 acre or less. My property that we were renting from in the HOA, it was less than a 1/4 acre, and there was so much land. And that's where y'all first started to see me growing food when I came back to the States there. It was there. And that was a lot of land. So don't get discouraged and think you need all that land. You need to cut the grass. You need to maintain your fruits, your veggies. You have to get up and go to work in the morning. It has to make sense for you. Okay? It has to make sense for you guys. That's all I'm saying, ultimately. It has to make sense. Plan it according to your time and your budget and your level of patience so you can grow with it. And be willing for the challenge in the process. Study as much as you can. Study people who have gone through it and not just some guys who watched a YouTube video and then and nothing against them, but experience is going to trump that anytime. All right? And then you'll be able to share little tips and things like that. Like Yurok shared me a tip of how to deworm the cattle way cheaper. But we'll drop that later. We'll talk about that later, okay? As a tip on another time. So, create a family blueprint is what I have here. Let me see. Homesteading isn't just your dream. It affects the whole family. I want to put that out there. Homesteading can't just be your dream. It's going to affect the whole family when it comes to time and consumption of. That's why I need magnesium. A lot of times, guys, I'm waking up early, working till sundown, and then I may come in here, get on the computer, whatever the case may be, and then I'm staying on it. If you're a person used to playing a video game all day, a homestead is not for you. You have to limit yourself when you're going to play the video game for a homestead. You need an hour or less on that thing because it's going to require you some time. And we're going to go through some tips at the end of the lesson. All right? Distance to schools, medical care, and work matter more than you think. If your hospital is 2 hours away, before you get the homestead, think about these things. Think about them. Okay? Very important. Get bit by a snake. Know your animals. Do you deal with coyotes? Do you deal with raccoons? Do you deal with hogs? Hogs are deadly. I know a lot of people say, oh, I got my shotgun. A hog ain't going to do nothing. What about when you're walking outside at 5 in the morning because you heard something by a trash can? And you probably thought it was just a cat and it's a hog, and then it starts to stick its tusk in you or rush you. A pistol, a lot of times, is not enough for a hog unless you're finna put a full clip in it, and then sometimes the adrenaline is still not enough. They can kill you. They can kill even a man like me who's so strong. They are fast. There's no thing a person can explain to you when it comes to a hog, guys, small or big. It takes about 40 dogs a lot of time, hunting dogs, just to take down one hog. And the hogs are very fast. Okay, coyotes that will come in, packs. Snakes, depending on what type of venomous snakes are in your area. Know the snakes the best as you can. To me, they're all venomous, but I learned the difference in time when it comes to king snakes that eat other snakes, when it comes to rat snakes, water snakes, grass snakes. Rat snakes look very similar to moccasins. Sometimes even they will have a pointed head and they will not be venomous. Okay? I want to put that out there. All right, so we said distance to schools, medical care, and work matter. If your kids or spouse hate it, the dream dies fast. If the family is not all in, the dream will die fast. The family needs to be all in. And I'm not, you have some women, I don't like the garden, I don't have the green thumb. Well, those women just haven't learned. That's not how they came up. I get it. You can't force anybody to do anything. But the Proverbs 31 woman, she wasn't afraid to put her hands in the soil, guys. Not the Proverbs 31 woman. I don't like worms. No, my wife, no, listen, I don't want to hear that crap. When we first got out here, she didn't like no worms. I'm like, listen, pick it up. We got to get used to this. I used to make my kids, when we was in Egypt, they see a wood roach, cockroach, coming from outside. I'm like, hey, ain't nobody going to have no fear in my house. Run up and deal with that roach, or I'm going to deal with you. No fear for a bug smaller than you. After a while, when they see that joint, bow! Let me tell you, they ain't playing no games now. These kids, let me tell you, these kids something else. They gonna grab a sheep, chicken. We had a test on them. Grab all the geese. You got this thing around here, they talking about geese is tough. Let them come to Lions kids. I made sure that when we had geese, before I got rid of them, because they were just pooping too many places. I'm like, that's too much. I love the compost, but you got to keep those things contained. They drop a lot. Talking about dropping like it's hot. Whew. They dropping it like it's green all over the place. And then they want to chill under your truck, your car. I'm like, nah, it's too much. I keep my chickens. I made those children all face their fears. Get that geese. Like John Witherspoon said, I take a geese and I choke them. I made all of the children grab the geese. The small children grab them geese. And they was grabbing them, and they went to go and put them in the water. Just to let them geese know, when Jake come around, we in control. Like my cows. When I come around, they like, oh, that Negro crazy. I ain't messing with him. I ain't messing with him. Some of them don't even try to escape no more after I didn't tackle them or put the lasso around their neck. I am the animal around here. I'm controlling my animals. My animals ain't controlling me. I don't know if you ever seen that thing where the dog bit the man on the hand and then he bit the dog on the head and then the dog let go like, oh, I ain't never felt, oh, that's how it's going down. So you got to be in control of your animals. Don't get any animals that going to control you. Just telling you the truth. We're going to have to get it back. Sisters, don't be afraid to put your hands in the dirt. It's going to be one of the greatest blessings you ever had. When you listen to me on the academy, you're going to see why I'm saying that. I can't go into everything tonight. So you might think in some ways I'm discouraging you. No. Gardening from your own garden is one of the best things in life. This is not my opinion. I study books from the 1800s, 1700s now. I'm reading more and more books about these things that they assume people are not going to read. Let me tell you right now. They were intelligent back then. Here, today, they want you to spend all your money on everything. They want you to go to a service to ease off everything. See? So, growing your food, just pay attention to when I come on the academy. I'm going to drop a few things on you to show you how important it is of growing your own food when it comes to probiotics. Okay, you know I've been studying probiotics for over a decade and actually living the life of dealing with them. It's a big difference, okay? So, finance and faith together, you're going to need both. Have an emergency fund and a faith plan. Or you will have a Fred Sanford type of situation. Fast. Now when me and my wife drive through the country, we realize why some people, they just, you can tell they had a project going, and then that thing just, then that thing was just like, hey, they didn't finish it. It takes a lot more finances than you know. You don't got a truck or a trailer. If you have a truck, that's one thing. If you have an SUV, you can get you a trailer and pull a trailer or rent a trailer, but you're going to get tired of renting a trailer. Some things you're going to get tired of renting. Renting a tractor to dig a pond or things like that, or excavator, or a skid steer, those are good to rent, because if you don't use them often, you're not going to make money from it. You'll be paying the insurance and just paying a note on it for too long, okay? Sometimes you buy an old tractor like I did, they'll sell you a lemon. I bought a tractor before, and they lied to me and put some of the blue magic inside of the engine, but the engine was gone. I lost $5,500 on that tractor, and I'm not afraid to say it, because guess what? Money don't make me. I always come back up. Every time in my life I went down, I always came back up. See? Nobody gonna stop me from being great. If I'm doing right and I'm walking these laws, nobody gonna stop me from being great. So, it's called learning. Okay? It's called learning. So I had to sell that tractor for less, and I lost money. But the good part about having some of that equipment is you can sell it to other country folk, because some country folk are mechanics and they like to fix tractors. They like to fix trucks. So they'll buy that stuff off of you, and you'll get more than you would get from a junkyard. Right? So I'm trying to save some more money. Man, I got this tractor. Ooh, man, I ain't gonna have to, keep renting no tractors no more. Oh, he sold me a lemon. And he act like he was godly and all that. So sometimes it's better to buy things new or buy things with insurance, because now you lost your investment. So some of us is going to lose a lot, but to us, we ain't tripping about it. We gonna gain way more, because we really didn't lose. We really gained a lot of knowledge. So next time there's a situation like that, we don't make that mistake. Right? And like, yeah, yes, my sister Tabitha, or barter, yes. So you gotta make work. You gotta work your jelly. You can barter and trade with people, like she's saying. Excuse me. Storms, droughts, disease will come. I'm gonna tell you something. I lost a lot of blueberry trees. This soil here was not good soil when I first moved here. I had to create new soil. Didn't have my watering system in place. I lost a lot of trees, over 50 to 100 trees, blueberry bushes, all that. And I did it again. Every year my wife she's looking at me like, he's buying 50 more trees. So when I do things, I always do them big. I go buy, I'm buying 20 this week. I'm buying 30 that week. Oh, I want, and then, I'm on, what's the place in Florida where you buy the trees from? I forget the name of it. Where they mail you the trees. And here comes those old storms. Here comes the droughts. Here comes the freezes. And then you say, well, I done lost all of these thousands of dollars. Again, not through my own want, not through my own lack of knowledge in every case. Now you're dealing with Esau's heavy metals in the sky. You're dealing with unprecedented, unpredicted weather patterns that they call climate change. And so now you say, you know what? The next time I buy this or that, I have to plan accordingly. I'm only going to put these in greenhouse. My tropicals will only be in greenhouses. Blah, 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 blah. Some things have made it through every freeze I've had. Even though they died back, they will make it through every freeze. I lost trees that were 10 feet tall over like 6 of those trees in a freeze. Prepare yourself financially for freezes and buy more native trees that have a good genetics when it comes to their foundation and their root system when it comes to their growing zone and climate. Pay attention to it and take notes. Trust the Most High, but also store grain like Joseph did in Egypt. Because you're going to have some mistakes. I remember having to get up one night on the Sabbath. On the Sabbath. I remember having to get up on the Sabbath one night when we had a leak under the house. You got to be careful for the black widows. This is when I first moved on the land about 4 years ago. Oh yeah, actually, rock. A lot of stuff likes to happen on the Sabbath. Just like the devil wants to go attack Eve and Adam. A lot of stuff likes to happen on the Sabbath. I'll come back on the Sabbath, a goat's dead. I'll come back on the Sabbath again, another goat's dead. I'll come back, oh, the cows are out on the Sabbath. I'll come back, this happens on the Sabbath. A lot of stuff for some reason throughout this walk, whether here or in Egypt, likes to happen on the Sabbath. I don't know why that's so, but it's always doing that. Okay, I had a goat one day. I came home wrapped up in the electric netting, choked out. Not that can't happen on a regular, but I'm going to tell you, I know the patterns. I've been in this for a long time. So prepare your finances, your anxiety for these things. But the person I am, I stay very calm and I just figure the situation out. All right? You know, I had over 20, 30 goats. I got rid of all of my goats because of my homestead. Right now, where I'm at, I don't need those goats. So I got rid of all of my goats. I have right now what's necessary to me and my schedule and my time and what I want to put out when it comes to energy, and frustration. Yeah, yes, Miss Tabitha, they're always colorful. It's like something always is going to happen on the Sabbath, and our people who wants to be law keepers, they'll relate to where the scripture says if your ox falls into a hole or a ditch and this and that, it'll be on the Sabbath. It's okay to get it out. You're not breaking the law. You have to still be able to get your livestock out. It happens all the time, okay? So, that point. Let's see here. Invest in key tools, like I said. Don't skimp. Don't skimp out. Invest in the right tools, guys. I wish I had a trencher. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had my own trencher. It's not that you can't afford certain things. It's just a priority. But I wish at this moment that I had a trencher. When I realize how many times I think about, you know what? I want to put a water hose here. I want to put another water line there. Sometimes I just take my pickaxe and just dig the trench myself. Because sometimes I don't feel like going to Home Depot or Lowe's to rent the trencher. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. But I wish I had a trencher around here. Don't skip out on those tools. A chipper. A chipper you can make your own wood chippings or mulch. It's called a chipper. A tractor. If you can afford a tractor on Facebook Marketplace, make sure you do your research. An old tractor that's diesel, it'll outlast a lot of stuff. I'm going to tell you right now. And a lot of times you'll spend from 1 to 7,000 depending. It's nothing wrong if you can find one that you can find a mechanic to come and check it out, okay? They really, 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 really help. When me and Deacon Alam had to move hay inside of the cattle pen the other day, he taught me something because he's a truck driver of what gear to put it in to make it work easy. I had it in the highest gear, and he told me it was at its strongest point in the lowest gear. Man, I put that thing in that low gear because we were trying to roll that hay over there, and the type of tractor we have, it doesn't just pick it up. It don't have a front loader on it. So we're working on that, but I was able to back that hay up inside of the cattle pen. So a tractor have come in so much help. Yeah. But let me yeah, let me see that. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. A tractor, a zero-turn lawnmower, or if you're on land that has wild grass, you're going to need something tough. Either pay somebody to come and maintenance your land, or get you something that's very good. I started to trust the push mowers from Walmart better than the lawnmowers I was buying from Facebook Marketplace. It got that bad. Because I didn't want to break down and buy a zero turn. I didn't want to pay the price. When I got a zero turn, I regretted all of that. I regretted all of that. Boy, does it do an amazing job. All right? And if you need to make you an extra money, go and cut some other people's grass with it. Shout out to my brothers out there in Ohio who have their own lawn businesses. And they know how to flip and whip and dip that thing. They already know what the zero turn does, okay? It's amazing. Tiller, a trailer, a truck. Having a good truck is very important. Having a good truck is very important. But make sure you have the finances for the truck. If you have a diesel and you've never bought a diesel like me, ask your truck driver friends. Ask your truck driver friends. I lost a lot of money in my diesel trying to fix it and bring it back to life. Sometime with those trucks, it's a hit or miss. They all have their own problems. Pick which one you like when it comes to diesel, but it's going to have its problems. Some will have better transmissions, some have better engines, some have better towing capacity, pulling power. I will not buy another diesel. Not ever. I'm not going to say not ever, but it needs to be in my priorities. But I prefer them over the normal trucks, gasoline engines. But it's like driving a Bentley. If you think I'm joking, if you have a long bed, F250, F350 or something like that, diesel, dually, I don't care if it's 2000 whatever, 19 this or whatever, it is like driving a Bentley. What do I mean by that? The upkeep of it. My starter on my truck was $400. My starter. That's not the labor for the guy to fix it. Even though he's a cheap mechanic, that's still expensive. If I take it to a proper mechanic in a garage or the dealership, just for a starter, I've now spent almost $1,000, maybe $1,500 just to put a starter in. Diesel mechanic labor is very expensive. Diesel is like driving a brand new Mercedes-Benz. I am not lying to you. Any truck driver out there tell me I'm lying. The tires on a diesel, even if you don't have rims, and I have rims on my truck. Just the tires alone. Very, very, very expensive. A tractor tire, $900 for a tractor tire. That's huge. $900. Okay, so I'm just telling y'all, getting excited without doing research is not good. I put myself through this for the people. And obviously my own benefits. But I said, hey, I have to go through these different things. And from time to time, let our people know from a voice that they can trust. Because I'm not a guy who's just going to tell you, I watched a YouTube video and say, hey, I know how to do this and I've been doing it. No, that's not me. That's being fake. It's disrespectful. It's not loyal. It's not genuine. I'm here to save you money. I'm here to tell you, hey, you can do all of what I'm saying. Just do a little extra research and make sure it's for you. Driving a diesel, just want to put it out there. Every one of them have their own problem. Some people say Ford is better. GMC is better. No. Everyone has their own problems. This year, it may have its problems. Next year, they try to improve it. As long as it can pull a trailer for me in an RV right now, the reason diesels are good because they have better towing capacity. They're better, long-lasting, robust trucks. They can pull fifth-wheel RVs better than some normal gasoline engine. But if you're only driving that RV once and twice a year, just rent you a diesel off Turo for the day. Unless you're ready to pay the cost that it costs to be the boss. Because when you're driving a diesel, please respect those who drive diesels, even if they're old. It compares the same to your new Mercedes-Benz. 2025 Mercedes-Benz is equal to an old diesel. I'm going to tell you the truth. When it comes to cost, trust me. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. They pull strong tractors. But if you don't want to pay for the maintenance and stuff on the regular, I would say get you a normal 4x4 truck or whatever the case may be, because you're just pulling trailers of cattle or wood. But once it gets heavy, you will need a strong truck or you will mess up your transmission for a regular truck. If you don't believe me, go ahead and find out on your own. Not just, and see, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not just telling y'all information from me only. I'm telling y'all from universal people I know and experience of myself. This is not just from Elder REI. You're talking about a person who is not afraid to jump in the waters and invest and lose thousands. See, people who, I'm going to tell y'all, we got some people on the chat and people who may know. Some of us are so rich in our minds, we will invest and lose knowing that we're already rich. I'm not just talking about rich in the kingdom. That nothing money don't make me, so being broke can't break me. So let me tell you, a loss or a mistake don't make me. I'm going to come back from that. This is how the rich get richer. They will lose millions, and how do they come back and make millions again? It wasn't about the money. They had knowledge. Knowledge will give you anything. So if you're not willing to make the mistakes and fail, you will not grow. Simple. You're not going to see me crying about anything. I stay quiet and I solve the situation. Okay? Trust me. I'm not telling you some facts on YouTube. Ask people who have warred with me around me. When I was sitting there getting ready to go to prison, ask them my temperament. Calm. Prayer. Being strong and of good courage towards the Most High. Not crying like a little Mark. Whatever's the Most High's will, I'm willing to go through whatever I have to go through and come out on top. 2 or more witnesses. Okay? I'm teaching you from realness right now. I remember when I was gardening in Europe, I had kale everywhere. One of the best commodities of the place where we were in Europe. Like I told y'all, where people were asking me, where are you growing your kale? Because they wanted to steal it from me. Because having kale in certain countries is a hot commodity. And in the stores, it's sold. Right? All right. Without tools, your body becomes a tool. Without tools, your body becomes a tool. You're talking about a man who used to do 1,000 push-ups a day. Me, Iraq, my brother, most men. You guys know how it feels to burn yourself out. And then if you're not doing it, you just kind of lose that. You got to start it over again to get that strength back. It comes a time where we have to not burn ourselves out. Maintaining, and then it's a time to prepare for a battle or war. We need to start to understand the difference, because on this land, it's going to whip your behind. If you never had a behind whipping in the hood and grew up in the curses like some of us, this land going to give you a good one. For the good, though. For the good. So anybody can talk and have money, but when they got to get down to really do this, everybody ain't built like that. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you have money, you can still have a good homestead. If you say, you know what, I'm too old, I don't want to be out there. That's where you hire servants. Servants are not bad people. It's not belittling somebody. We had Hebrew servants under us as Hebrews. If a person have worked their whole life physically, labor and otherwise, mentally, through their anxiety, all that, you can't tell them that they don't deserve to do such a thing. If they want to pay somebody to take care of their garden, some people out here, they will pay, no disrespect. Somebody has to have a job. They'll pay whoever's willing to. And some people are good. Issachar is very good at gardening. They will pay Issachar to come out there, maintain that garden, cut the grass, maintain the garden. And when they say they have a homestead, they're not necessarily out there doing it, but I like to do mine personally. Even if I paid somebody to a certain degree for some things, I personally like to put my hand in that soil. It's going to be a certain amount of work that I have to do and I want to do. That's just me. Because having a garden and I never touch it, I'm not going to feel that one with it. So I have to have some type of Adam characteristics in me when it comes to that. I understand that Abraham was very rich. He had servants. But to a certain degree, a man would want to go in his garden, touch it, and trim it to a certain degree. So you guys out there who say I'm a little older for it, hire you some people who will maintain. They're called landscapers modern day. You don't call them servants. You call them landscapers. You're bartering with them. You're giving them something to feed their family, and they're dealing with your garden to feed you. It's nothing wrong with that. Don't think it's bougie and something's wrong with that. You cannot burn out if your job is to finish. If your job is a teacher, and you are a teacher, you have to decide, are you going to be a farmer or you're leading God's flock? You're going to have to learn how to balance the two. That's all I'm saying. I couldn't be a full-time farmer teaching the flock of Christ. I can't be a full-time. Right? I'm in my garden a lot though, but I couldn't be full time. So you're gonna have to pick what's best for your schedule in your life. I have a lot of people out here who want to be in the garden. These are the people who, this is all they desire. They don't want to be teachers. This is what they want to do. These are the people who, when I have time, I can get in that garden, and they will maintenance it. They got free food. They may have a little housing situation to deal with it. And I come out there when I can. Guys, this is called a community. It's called a community. I'm putting out so many different ways for us to be wise. Sometime in Acts, some people had to go out to work to bring the money back so the teachers can be able to do the work. So I have to, according to my schedule, I have to make things work. Automated, simultaneously organic. I have automatic watering systems for my crops because when I tried to do it by hand, I was too busy. My garden was too huge. I had hundreds of trees, and I still have, I know I still have 50 plus right now. But there's no way watering it. Even when I was in Egypt, I had a beautiful garden. What? Beautiful automatic watering system, and I would come out to water it when I had time myself because there's something about hand watering. Just like a person want to take a walk. So you're going to need to know your time. Automatic gates, chicken gates that rise up, electric fences. Find out what's good for you. You're going to have to learn how to work these electric fences if that's the way you want to go. All right. I'm going to have some things to show about how to actually roll those fences up because it's not on YouTube. We have found an effective way to roll up those electric fences without them getting tangled. All right. And I've never seen it on YouTube, but I master whatever I do. Okay. So don't burn yourself out like a cigarette into ash. Don't do it. Start a small homestead first. Even if you have more land, then expand it when you find out. Don't get too many animals at first. Do your research. Get you one goat. Get you one sheep. Get you a few chickens. See how you do with that for about, some months to a year. Find your system. When you first start your garden, do not expect a lot of good growth. Let the soil grow into a beautiful soil from 1 to 3 years. A new soil takes time. It's like the gut of the earth. The more you nurture it, the better it becomes. Better harvest year after year. You don't want to become the tool once again. My wife, she knows I'm just such a hard worker. Even if I've made things easy to a certain degree, she come out there when it's 90-degree heat, and I'm not always out there like that, but she comes out there to make sure her husband's still alive. Here she come on her little zero turn with the water jug. She's like, listen, my husband take care of me. I got to make sure he's good. I got to make sure my husband is good, and I appreciate it. And I'd be like, baby, I'm all right. No. Your mama gonna kill me if I don't take care of you. Right? So, next is set up legal protections. File your homestead exemption if you have a home on your land. Protect yourself tax-wise. It's really wise if you can find some land that has agriculture exemption. Like me, if you have in Texas, it's different. If you have 5 or more acres, you can get Bs, and then it would take off 80% of your taxes off your land. They will let you also put hay or trees, like plant pecan trees. There's a lot of different things that you guys can do when it comes to this, okay? So find out from your county, are there tax exemptions, okay? Very, very important. Lots of people lose their houses every day in HOAs and land because the taxes are so expensive, and then now you got to go down there and try to get it from the monopoly people who just going to get your home as long as they pay your taxes. But then they'll have to pay the taxes next year. All right? A dream without legal structure is liability. A dream without legal structure is liability. Make sure you got your paper in order. I learned that when I was a kid. Always making sure I'm reading contracts, understanding contracts, have my paperwork together. I'm not going to say I never made mistakes, but every time I would learn even more and more about the situation. Because sometimes for me, I'm always like trusting people so much. On the other side of the earth is a handshake. This side of the earth, you got to make sure the paperwork is really on point. That's just the truth of the matter. They'll smile in your face while you sign your life away. And then later, they'll be like, I thought you read the contract. So that's, make sure you, if you get a mobile home, ask them and tell them what you want before you walk out of there. He told me, because I never did it before, we're going to make you a pad to put your house on. Then when I seen my neighbor's pad, I said, well, I wish I'd have got my pad that big. So I had to redo a lot of things, okay? Now I know how to do it all better. If you can get a lot in the loan, I would do that. If you're going to be paying a loan anyway, because sometimes you just add a few more things, it don't make the price that much more expensive. So you either have cash or you put a lot of the fencing, guys, fencing alone. If in the some of the cheapest fences, like the little green stakes, okay. The little green stakes with the barbed wire. That's some of the cheapest fencing. You can pay somebody to put that in, and that fencing is okay. Your neighbors are going to be able to see you, but you can enclose where your particular house is if you just want a little bit more privacy. Fencing can cost a lot of money. If you want a better fence than that, you may pay for an iron fence or even wood. You can pay up to $30,000 if you have a lot of land, depending on how much you trying to fence. If you're trying to fence a 1/4 acre or less, maybe not so. And even you can do that yourself. It's cheaper if you do it yourself. Get some people out from the church. Y'all barbecue. Get together and help each other put the fence up. Let's be a community and help each other with this sometimes, all right? And these are people who you want on your land. Never bring people from the church, even though we all church people, who you don't want on your land, who you can't trust and don't know yet. They will think that they know you, and they will just try to invite themselves to your land, and when you don't invite them, they will get offended, and they will keep forcing themselves to try to come because they're trying to befriend you. And whatever, they may have good or bad intentions, but some of us take time to know people. For me, it took years to know. Me and Yurok, it took years for us to know each other. We had to prove that we both in this working together, honest people. That's how you build a solid friendship. When you see Elder naming these men, he's not naming them just because it's like it's some favoritism. They still got to put in work, but it's like you can't buy that. You can't buy people who gonna be with you through the ups and downs. You can't just replace that easy. So don't get offended if I don't, when people call me, hey, Elder, can I come out to the forum to help? I would love your help, but I still need to get to know you first. You know how many crazy people who have come in the truth? Guys, I'm telling you right now. You know how many people sometimes are trying to come back to our church who have did so much dirt, and like, it's nothing against them, but it's like, man, this really takes some proving. So even if you want to say, man, I need a little help from the church, invite the people who you would want around you. It's not that those people will never come around, but sometimes their spiritual level is not there. And sometimes people see things a little different. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't mean they're bad people. Okay? But two can't walk together unless they agree. If I've been in here 30 years and you're here in 2 years, we're going to see things a little different. You're going to take things as an offense. I'm going to take things as, hey, I've been the nice guy. I've been ran over. I'm not a rude narcissist or a-hole or whatever people say, these bad words. I've gained wisdom over time. And we can grow that, but it's going to take a little time here. All right, that's all I'm saying there. Secure water and grains. This is one of the most important things. Grain, in my opinion and from research, from the scriptures and otherwise, of what's going on in this world is one of the most important things a person can do, because it has pretty much every vitamin and mineral except for 4. We spoke about this before, and I'm going to do another lesson on grain and iodine. I'm going to do another lesson on grain and iodine. I'm not trying to make you a believer. You either going to believe it or you're not. The Most High didn't make no mistakes of why he told Joseph to do it. All right? It lasts indefinitely. And I mean, it never gets old smelling fresh bread. Even if you don't have electricity, make you an oven out of mud. Have you some fire starter and have you a grinder, a hand grinder, hand mill. You're never going to not like the bread smell. And if you have a sourdough starter, much more healthier for the gut. If yeast runs out in the store, you have a sourdough starter. There you go. From the dust of the air. Rainwater collection and a backup storage. I think these things are very important. Rainwater is free. Wait till about 30 minutes for that rain to filter out and clear out, and then start collecting that water, or just have a good filter system going. Very good things. Let me go over some of the don'ts. All right. I guess I can just put my notes on here. I mean, let me just put the notes, because sometimes I didn't want the typos or something to be on there, but okay, these are some of the don'ts. If you guys, I guess I'll put the number up soon if somebody wants to call in, but see what time we got. We 7:52. I hope it's not too late. Sometimes I wait too late to get these calls in, but I thought that I needed to carefully go through this so that people really don't waste money through excitement. Because a lot of people will tell you when they start doing this that it can get a little overwhelming. So that's why I said, man, I have to come out with this. It could be somebody buying a homestead in a week, in a month. Just let me help them to not make the same mistakes I made. It's called putting your life on the line for your brothers. You don't have to physically put your life on the line to death right now. You can do it by making mistakes and using your life as an example for brothers, proving that you would do it. So that's what I'm doing for you all today, for love. I could have just kept all these things to myself and I can just become rich off of my own mistakes. But if we don't invest in God's kingdom and continue to make the earth grow through wisdom, what's it all for? I'm going to tell you something too. Talk to your children about finances. This is what I learned when I'm talking to my babies today. When I'm showing them the stock market, when I'm showing them and I'm not a full expert at this, I'm showing them the crypto market, I'm showing them how money moves. Their attention was like, Jake loves some money, even when they small, even the baby. She know what to do with money. She know what Cash App is. She ain't up at 3 years old. Let me tell you, she know about going to the feast. That's all they know is his life. When Jake is hearing about money, they think about all the things they can buy. So teach your children as you learn, of course, financial literacy. When I'm showing them, like, listen, this is how the market goes up and down. You do this, you do that. This is how you flip your money. When you got $1, if the inflation goes up, that dollar's not worth as much. They just sit there listening like, I'm like, they are really enjoying this. We got to teach our children a little bit more early when it comes to this stuff. And they may get it faster. And then you like, do you remember what I said? And then they remember the dates and all that. It's like, okay. So, yes, I will do another grain and iodine video. I will. All right. A lot of people like me to teach the lessons about, like, the Bible on here. But don't forget, the channel is Truth Preparation, so I have to try to balance it. They love when I go into the lessons, and I try not to beat the people over the head with biblical lessons in every aspect, because we have that on Wednesday. We have that on Thursday. We have that on Friday. And I try to do a lesson with Truth Preparation sometime, because that's really what the channel was started about. But obviously the most views come because people, they love that Bible, and that's a good thing. But we also want to prepare the people as well, because it seems the attention span of this part, our people are all talk. And they'll be coming to people like Humble Servants Homestead, people like whoever is out there who's doing this, who's showing these little motivational things. Hey, can I come on your land? And it's like, hey, it's kind of not fair, because we've been teaching these lessons and you have not put your hand to the plow or oil in your lamp. Okay, I don't care if you have an apartment, get your practice on. Because if you do enough in that apartment, that's faith. And the Most High will give you the money in some type of way and the wisdom to get your land. Trust me when I say that. All right? So, let's go through some of the don'ts and some of these notes here. Don't buy land blindly. I apologize for not putting the notes on the screen earlier. I just, I didn't feel like I needed to, but I guess it helps you guys. Just in case I had some typos or some mistakes here. Location matters. I personally, from my experience now, in Texas, we have southern land that's more better for cattle. Northern land is more forestry, like when you go to Philadelphia, when you go to up north, it's more forest. Each place is going to have like a flat land type of situation for growing crops, and then you have forest. I personally think that the forest area can give you the best of both worlds if you clear it correctly. Having a pond, if you have the money to pay for a pond, or you can agree, say, hey, you know what, can you clear this land and can you kind of dig me a little pond on the side? Sometimes you can work deals like that, because you can actually use that dirt to build your land up where it's flooding. If I would have known that how much dirt costs, I would have paid the people to just dig the dirt, use that dirt, and I would have saved more money if not paid the same cost, and got a pond at the same time. Okay? Instead of having to come back and try to do a pond later, because a stocked pond is very important, because you can stock fish in that pond. You can use that pond as good, like a compost tea for your plants. There's one nursery that they take the water from the pond, it goes through a filter, it goes through all of their plants, and somehow goes back into the pond without. It's pretty powerful how they got it going. All right. So soil, water rights, zoning, and neighbors can make or break you. Mineral rights when you buy land. A lot of time they will not give you the mineral rights that's under your land. That's just how it is nowadays, guys. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you don't. That's why sometimes you'll see a little oil situation where they're drilling oil right next to somebody's house. Because they either bought their mineral rights, or they end up investing in a pump to put there. Okay, having the wrong neighbors. I have all good neighbors, but their dog, cattle is going to go on each cattle's land sometimes. That's fine. But dogs eating my trash. I had to pop at somebody's dog because they just didn't get it. And I'm still cool with the people, but I told them, listen, if your dog keep coming on my land, eating my trash. That's not our dog. Can't be our dog. We got our dog locked up. I'm like, brother, I got your dog on camera. That's your dog. Now, I don't want you to hurt your dog. But if one day your dog come missing, I don't know what happened. I don't know where it's at. Because if it kills one of my chickens or hurts my children, and it just kept coming back over and over. So what I would do is I would just scare it a little bit, if you know what I mean. I would just scare it a little bit. And it would have been not so big of a deal if the neighbors respected what I was saying. If they were a little bit more respectful and say, man, we're sorry, blah, blah. I'm like, just cage your dog up. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I might have to put your dog down. He said, well, do what you have to do. I'm like, well, just leave it there. All right? Yeah. So anyway, your neighbors. Try to make peace with your neighbors. What I do is I send gifts to my neighbors, like cookies or like something like that. I would send that stuff to my neighbors just to, be a good Samaritan, let's say. Cheap land often comes with expensive problems. Zoning, like, is it in a flood zone? I would be careful for land in the middle city. Sometimes when it floods, these cities are locked down because of floods and all type of catastrophes. Be very wise and strategic on when you buy land if it's going to be like where you're going to hunker down. Outside of the city is always better. Even if you have to drive an hour and 20 minutes, I'm sorry to tell you, some of the most cheapest land is like that. You can find land with houses already on it. A lot of times you'll find land with mobile homes on it if you're trying to go the cheap route. You might find something in Texas, depending on where you are, $250,000 and below. If you want a brick and mortar house, you're going to pay a little bit more money. Make sure you can afford it because you got a lot of expenses on the land already. Some of us, we say, hey, we're going to start with a house small and we'll get a house built later. You have to just look at your finances to see. Okay, so how you start a homestead is not how you're going to finish it. You improve, you learn things, you learn landscaping, you learn how to do things more affordable, more efficient, more better. Having solar is a great thing that you can do as well. Once again, all of these things take finances. You are not a bank. Money does not grow on trees. While you're trying to make money come in and flow in, a lot of times the same money you flowed in is going out through fixing things. So then you have to find a way to make the land make you money. If you guys have a lot of land, you can have somebody make a bartering system that people can come and cut you hay. You can either pay them to cut the hay, give them some of the hay, give them the hay, or if you want the hay, to sell the hay for, like, in Texas it goes for like $30 to $100+ a lot of times for bales of hay. If you have a lot of land, you do the math. If you have 50 acres, you're going to have a lot of bales of hay. A lot of people in the neighborhood need hay. What type of hay should you put in your garden? We're going to talk about that below. Okay? Contracts, where it says don't enter partnerships carelessly. If you think somebody's in the church, just because they're in the church you should get land with them, and you really always go with your family first. So you don't have to go through all of these different things to split. And if you do still feel like that's the way you want to go, don't put that on the church. That's your own decision. But you guys really need to be family or just as close to family, okay? And get along very well. Usually if there's a man helping to run the situations, have it on paper and contract, even if you're family, to make sure that mortgages are getting paid. Okay? Very important. Or if you plan to buy it for cash, whatever. Just however you're going to do it. You don't only have to have cash to get a land. You can do owner finance. You can get a loan. Okay? Sorry guys, I'm getting a little tired here. Accountability is very important. Values are very crucial. You may think because you have family that's not in the church that it's all going to work out and they're going to do these things that you're excited and you've been preaching to them about. It's not going to always work that way. You may get people say, man, I want to start a garden, do this and that. Once they realize how much work it is and when it's time to put in money, they are not going to want to do it. Their garden will turn to weeds. It's telling you. Okay? Their garden will turn to weeds. They will say, hey, this is not for me. I want to go back and get an apartment. I want to go back and live in the HOA. People get excited. They're not willing to get on a blank canvas and make it an abstract painting like you. But I guarantee you later, like the little red hen who was baking the bread, they're going to be back once that bread starts smelling. All right? So, the wrong partner can destroy your land and your peace. So don't, and okay, next. Don't start too big. YouTube glamorized massive farms, but most families can't manage it. We're in captivity. Don't forget. Start with a garden bed, not 10 acres of crops. Hoo-hoo-wee. If you follow YouTube and you never start your MeTube or your iTube, it may not work out good for you. Start small and transition. Don't trust only YouTube gurus. Get familiar with people around your neighborhood who have been doing this in your area. They know the native plants. Go to local nurseries who deal with bees, who deal with fruit trees, who deal with the soil, who can tell you what type of soil they have, who have already tested the soil in the areas. All that. You can get soil tests sent off to labs to tell you what your soil is missing. Okay? People lie or exaggerate online, and a lot of YouTubers don't even eat their own food that they grow. If you're thinking that just because you eat vegetables from the store that it's good for you and you should not take supplements, of why I have a supplement store, I'm going to tell you, you are in for a rude awakening. You don't know who's growing your food. I don't care if it says organic. A lot of organic stuff is still being sprayed out there. But when you grow your own food and you're not spraying it, we'll talk about the benefits of it on the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Trust me what I'm saying. All right? People lie and exaggerate online. Test ideas. Experience beats theory in people who are just trying to get views. Most YouTubers are gardening and not even eating their own food, guys. They're doing it for views, and it's just not right. And I get it. People are trying to make a living for their family. I say that everybody should have a YouTube channel if you have something worthwhile that's going to actually teach people and you know what you're talking about. But a lot of people are just regurgitating information. Me and Yurok will be doing information, and it's like all the YouTubers are just telling you this is right, that's not right. And then we go back to the 1800s, 1700s, 1900s. Guess what? People were using things before YouTube, living off the grid, normal, and have mastered a lot of things. And YouTube will tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, why were they doing it before successfully? You'll find out a lot of things that's written, Esau have taken, covered them up, bring some new out, and you see it on YouTube, and you don't know these are paid agents on YouTube. Gardeners, influencers, streamers, people who have podcasts and all that. Your best bet is to get out there with people who have already done it, and you get out there and learn as well. And guess what? Eat the meat and spit out the bones. I'm not saying everything is bad, but I'll tell my wife a lot of times, and she know husband look crazy. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I can be a little racist, meaning I favor my own people, and I also favor people who live in reality. I'm racist in that way, and I guess what? I just made a new terminology for what racism means. Meaning, I'm racist to liars and people who are not who are living in hypocrisy. I'm opposed to these things because it's just a lie. Fertilizers. We'll get to that when we get to the hay. Let's get to this first. Don't grow food you don't eat. Oh, we got a garden, we got this, we got that, and you don't even eat a lot of this stuff. I used to do this stuff, growing everything, and it's like, listen, I don't even want some of this stuff. Let me grow what I eat. If I only eat these 4 vegetables, that's all I'm going to grow instead of just trying to have a good YouTube channel. Whatever I don't like, or whatever I don't have, I don't feel like it's growing good on my garden, I'm going to go to my neighbor who's growing it, farmer's market, or somebody who I can trade with, something like that. All right? Yeah, grow foods you actually enjoy cooking and eating. Don't quit when it gets hard. I was born like this through my genetics. I was just born like this. I see it through my mother. I'm just born to not give up. I can't tell you that it. I mean, I've heard when I used to watch Michael Jordan and little people do commercials, never give up. Practice makes perfect. But I just don't give up. So I don't break very easy. But for some of you who have anxiety and you let things stress you, you might want to think about it before you start you a homestead. My wife will see me lose, like I said, 50 trees. I'll go and buy 70 more trees. I've done it 3-4 times to where it's like, okay, I can't keep doing that. Fool me once, fool me twice, third time on me. So now I had to create a whole new system according to my climate. Not knowing if it's going to be fall, winter, or if we're going to get 4 seasons in one season. So now I have to kind of restructure a lot of things, even when it comes to storms. So I'm not necessarily in a rush. I may have my garden back up I have fruit trees still growing, but I may have my garden back up by spring, because this time I said, you know what? I've had a garden in so many different areas. This is now how I want to do it according to what's going on out there in this atmosphere, in this air. So, and that's not saying it's not going to grow certain things outside, but you learn what you want and what's suitable for you. Okay? It's just what it is. I would suggest a automatic irrigation system. I built my own irrigation system. They have a lot of new fittings that snap in very easy. You trench, or you just dig with your your pickaxe, whatever, on the ground. Very simple. I will do another irrigation video, but I'll do it pre-recorded because the wind and stuff is always blowing out there. But I'll actually do it where you see me doing it, okay? So I'll do another irrigation video, okay? The first failed crop or animal death breaks many. I've lost a lot of animals before. Chickens. And not just when I had this homestead. It has already happened to me before this homestead. Chickens can die from parasites. They can die from heat exhaustion. They can die from whatever. Goats can die from parasites. They can die from listeria. You can do everything right. You can lose a goat or sheep or calf. Calves can die from shipping fever, meaning you shipping them and they're getting nervous. And then if you don't get them the LA300 or the antibiotics or whatever probiotics on time, then they'll die. And you have to bury them on your land and use them as compost because you don't want to eat them. So you're going to lose your investment, but you learn from that. And you could be dealing with a bad dealer. You could not. You could done everything perfect. Homesteading, these things are going to happen. Please don't feel defeated. If you ain't willing to lose 5 to 10 animals throughout your years of homesteading, it may not be for you. Don't think you're a failure. If you're not willing to start a garden and fail and say, hey, I don't know if I want to be a good gardener, get frustrated and start back again, this is not for you. This is the captivity we're living in, on top of the curses of Adam and Eve, on top of the curses of our forefathers for not following. He said he was going to make our heaven like iron. We have heavy metals up there that are falling down. So you're dealing with a lot of different things until we get back in the kingdom. This is a fight. It's a war. And guess what? If you're not going to take the mark of the beast, you will need to homestead. You will need to homestead. I'm telling you right now. If you are not rich from crypto where you can pay servants, or your business didn't flourish, or you didn't invest in good whole life insurance or something you can take money out of, or retirement, if you didn't invest in this to where maybe you can pay some people to have your garden, or you have enough to get you through it. A homestead, and even if I did do those things, I'm still going to have a homestead. I don't care. If I'm rich, I'm going to have a homestead. The mark of the beast is coming for the rich and the poor. Okay? The homestead is going to be the world's gold. Cattle, I would call it a livestock market. You have the stock market, you have the livestock market. You have sheep, goats, chickens, whatever. You're producing things that are moving. It's moving. It's moving. This is no different than the stock market, but actually better when you are the producer. Get very good and frustrated, not at people, frustrated in a good way. Oh man, I thought I had. I got to go back to the drawing board. Not with people who's yelling, not those type of people. I'm talking about like a good frustration. You don't have to yell at nobody. It's like, okay, man, I thought I had it. Got to get back to it. I'm going to pray on it, ask for wisdom, study, read old books, read good YouTubers, read people with experience, ask questions to other homesteaders in the church or local. Go to seminars about learning how to deal with bees and just different things, whatever the case may be. Soak up wisdom and knowledge. This is what makes a man rich. Having something to offer and not stepping on each other's toes. Everybody wants to sell body butters. How many people are going to sell body butters? We got enough butter already. You know what I'm saying? You got Kim Wick, you got a few people, but everybody wants to have a Burger King next to each other, a McDonald's. This is just what I was telling the Houston church the other day. Can black people do other things too? Hey, why don't you go learn how to grow some corn? That's something that's missing. Why don't you go learn how to do this? That's something that's missing. Let's fill in some other gaps. Not looking like, well, he or she is making money off of this. Let me try to do what they're doing. That's wrong. Find something else and be good at it, something somebody don't know. When you're the teacher, they have to come to you for it. And when you become the teacher, it's not your job to give them the knowledge to cast your pearls before swine, lest they rend them under their feet, trample them. Because now you can't feed your house and home because they've taken your ideas. That's why I have to be careful what I say, because I have so much knowledge. My grandpa and my father were men of many talents. So sometimes you're very good at one thing. I've been blessed and raised to be good at everything. My grandpa would say, son, learn all you can. You never know when you're going to leave something. So he just would teach me everything. And I would keep it in my mind. Not to be good at everything, but to learn everything and be a master of one. But still learning how to change a tire, how to deal with your car, how to do carpentry. I learned that I can pretty much do anything I put my mind to. There's nothing you're going to put in front of me that I'm not going to be one of the best at. In my own way, not trying to copycat. When I played basketball, I was at the top. When I graduated from my high school, I was at the top of the class. I don't need to be number one. I'm going to be the best I can be. When I said I was going to set out the garden, I said, hey, I got to be good at this. I got to be able to grow food for my family. I don't care about being better than him or him. I just want to be very good at it so that, I can produce, because God says we're supposed to be fruitful and multiply in anything that we do. I don't get in this thing where it's like, oh man, he's doing this. I'm not even worrying about another man like that, because I got a wife at home, brother. I'm worrying about a soft touch at home. It's no dude that's in my mind at night or day. I'm thinking about the smell of a woman and a soft touch. I don't care about dudes like that. I love brothers and true men, but I'm not worrying about some dude and thinking about him like that. I'm worrying about how can I be better to do the will of the Father for him, myself, and my family, and his people. So let's not step on each other's toes. Everybody want to sell sea moss. Like these are the things that I'm telling you. Like that, I'm like, they got the colorful sea moss, and it's like, do you not know how easy it is to make? You're not doing nothing deep, and I'm not taking nothing away from you, but you're really not doing nothing deep. Like a lot of things people will serve me. Like, do you know I know how to make tallow at home, body butters at home, but I still purchase from people who does it, because sometimes if I don't feel like doing it and it's a service, I will buy it. I know how to do most of the things that people serve me. We make our own clothing. We sew. Guys, I can pretty much do most things. So when people see, why don't support and I can't buy everything. And most of the things people are selling me, I'm doing at home already. We make tallow at home. I mean, guys, and I've been doing some of this before, like when I was in Egypt. We had to live off the land. Me and Iraq, we had to live off of natural stuff. in another country. So when I don't say I do something, don't mean I don't know. And I'm not a know-it-all. When you know it all, you don't know nothing at all. But all I'm saying is I'm humble enough to listen, even if I know something like the scripture says. So if I don't seem so excited, I may already have this at home because I do it. I make peanut butter. I mean, guys, I can do a whole lot that you have not even known that I am a master of. I will never tell you how I fight because I don't need you knowing what lick coming to you. You might not know what I know. I don't need you to know that. That's why you never see me broadcasting my moves. My brother does that because he's a teacher to our nation. But ask my brother the last time. I've been fighting from a kid protecting his black behind. I've been fighting 4 people since I probably was 7 years old. Whipping behind. That's all I know. But even with that, I am not a fighter. Right? I don't want no credit for it. I'm just trying to make sure we live in another day. That's it. I'm just a normal guy. All right? But my thing is with our people, when I'm in Egypt, there's 30 tea shops on one line. And it's like, when we going to chill, we like, which tea shop do we go to? There's 30 of them. Literally. How do the people know which tea shop to go to? Now I see why the Father told us don't be like the Gentiles. They got a Burger King right here, McDonald's right here. It's like, man, a Jack in the Box right here. If you're good at what you do and you're dealing with it, cool. But I like to see unique things. So I give credit where it's due. I don't like to take away nothing, but it's like, if it's so many of the same thing, it's like, What'd you say, Iraq? Literally calling their coffee shop Facebook. Yeah, man, let me tell you, they don't know what trademark means out there in copyright. They just steal everything. Let me tell you, if you've been in Egypt, you're going to see coveting on a high level. Coveting and copycatting on a high level. All the Gentiles actually do it. Chinese, they do it. Everybody. I've seen billboards spelled wrong in English. Professional corporate Egyptian billboards. They did not want to put that money back up to fix the editing process on that thing. And I'm driving through for years. I'm like, they're really not going to fix this billboard sign. This is a corporate company. Father, let me tell you, they ain't fixing it. And so our people will hear a song. Everybody wants to redo the same song on a mixtape. Everybody wants to do like the same thing. We are Israel, guys. Wisdom is manifold. But we only want to do what the world thinks is best. But guess what? When it comes to living life, I think that we have to get back to producing. Even if we don't have the finances to produce on mass level, it's going to come down to the old normal homestead that's bartering with each other. Learn some of these skills and learn to do things if the system shuts down. I always try to learn how to do it with technology and how to do it if there's no technology. I always thought like that. And it's funny because Iraq tell me the same thing. He always tries to learn the things that if there's no technology, how would you be able to do it? I just give you some food for thought. All right. If you can endure the lows, the highs are unmatched. All right. This is just some tips before I'm going to open up these calls. I'm getting a little tired, but I'm going to open up the calls anyway. Just let me give you a few tips. Let me see something really quick. Let me see. I got to get the number for y'all. I don't remember this new number. 1 second. 1 second. Let me get this Google Voice open here. That's what we're using at the time. I mean, sometimes I'll use Zoom. But our number is me see if I can copy it. I don't know. I might have already put it up, but let me see. Let me see if I already had put it up. One second, guys. 1 second. Let me see something before we go. I guess I didn't put it up. I guess I erased that, but I'll just give you the number because I actually erased it because I had to get a new system when Skype went out. So I'll deal with that in a second. Last tips. If you want to write the number down really quick to call in, because I'm getting a little tired here. I'm not gonna lie. I've been working hard. You know, these cows been giving me a run for my money. I'm glad you got that cow. I mean that bull, Rod. All right. Sometimes I have a little fun chasing them, but then I'm working out and I'm doing other things here too. So the number is 979 398 5875. 979 398 5875. If you want to call in, if you have a question, call in 979 398 5875. As a matter of fact, I'll put it here too. Yeah, we already got a caller. 1 second. One second, guys. One second. Alrighty, let me see. Shalom. You said sister from
Danielle from Orlando, Florida.
Let me make sure the callers, the people can hear you really quick.
Okay.
Can you guys hear the caller? I just want to know really quick. I know this thing be glitching sometime, but I want to make sure they can hear you really quick. Can you guys hear the caller?
Shalom. This is Sister Danielle.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything. I'm just making sure they can hear the caller. Well, go ahead and ask your question. They say yes. Okay, go ahead and ask your question. I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Okay, Tawana. My question was, with all the weather changes and everything, it's really hard for me to know when to water my plants. I'm just kind of going off of the spirit and intuition, and kind of when my plants need it, knowing that each plant needs it at a different time. So I just wanted to know maybe your general advice on maybe when is a good time to water the plants, every other day or every 3 days or something like that, because it's so hard to tell right now.
Where are you from? Where are you from again?
I live in Florida, and I actually tried. My mom's apples don't grow in Florida, and I'm well, I'm gonna try anyway with all this weather craziness. I'm just gonna try. I try to grow some apple trees and everything, so they're doing pretty good. So we'll see.
Well, sometimes some people say, I'm going to ask you a question, but sometimes some things will grow, but then they will have disease. I'm not wishing that on yours. I'm saying sometimes that's why they'll say that, because they'll have little disease coming. But there's things you can spray on there that there's things you can spray on there to prevent that, but I would do this. I would always go to a local nursery because Florida has a really good climate there. It's tropical climate where you can take advantage of growing these tropical things that I love, like mangoes and pineapples. Ooh, amazing. But
Mhm.
um, it's very humid there in Florida, right? I think you are. Let's see. It says zone.
Yeah, I'm in 9.
You're in zone 9. Okay.
Yeah, and
So
I have like lavender and rosemary. I have pineapple, some lemon trees growing.
well,
I'm,
the herbs are the easy stuff. So I don't even take too much
right,
time on herbs because they grow pretty easy. But when it comes to your
right,
fruit trees and your vegetables,
right.
this is like the main thing. So you always you can go and check the roots with your hand,
Mhm.
or you can read upon each plant. Now if you have too many plants, it's going to be tough to read unless you got a notebook how often does
Right.
each
You have
plant
to
need to
take
be
notes.
watered. The main thing
Right.
is not overwatering, not underwatering. So you just can't go off of this climate anymore. So
Mhm.
I have a watering system that it has a rain delay. If it starts raining, I just press the timer. It's called Beehive. It's like a beehive watering system. And you can
Okay.
connect the water hose to it, and you can connect it to your Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi router, and it
Oh,
will
that's
water,
cool.
and you can program it to turn off on when it rains or whatever the case may be. 4 days.
That's really
You
cool.
can water it
Okay.
whenever you're at
Beehive.
work, whatever. But if you're
Mhm.
hand watering, you may have to do some research on what you're growing, or just a simple rule of thumb. Depending on what
Mhm.
type of soil you have, sometimes you can water at the top and it may not be going below. So sometimes pay attention and learn your soil. Put your finger down there and test to see if it's watered underneath. And if it
Okay.
does, from you watering for like, for instance, if you water for like 1 to 2 minutes, if that water is going, you got some really good drainage in that soil. So you may not need to overwater. So you're gonna really have to just check your soil and see
Right.
how long does it take when I'm watering a plant for the water to get deep beneath. And
Okay.
if it's containers,
Yes, sir. It is.
then the
I
water.
do it like in the grow bags.
Okay, so in the grow
All of
bag. So
them.
why don't
Mhm.
you in the grow bags put like a little tray under? Do you have trays under it where you could just put water where they can soak up from the bottom? Because that's a lot better when you're doing grow bags.
Oh. One of them is like on a shelf that kind of has like a bottom to it.
Okay.
And that's where the herbs are. But the other like trees, like I have a sour sop tree, and it's like I put it up high, like on a concrete, like on some cinder blocks, so that it's up high, so that when I water it, the water just drips down, and then I kind of just like you said, put my finger in it and see if it's like moist.
If I
But it's kind of hard to tell, you
if
know.
I had
It's
grow
like,
bags though, I'm gonna be honest, because I used to do grow bags. I've done all types of gardens to become pretty
mhm,
much. I would call myself a master gardener. I never went to get the license. I didn't feel like I needed to on that level because I'm not actually in that full business. But I'll say this: anytime it came to me doing grow bags, I like the air pruning that it does to the roots. Gets. I mean, it has benefits to it. But I would always put, like for instance, I had a little swimming pool. All of my
mhm.
all of my a little kiddie swimming pool. All of my grow bags I will put in there, and I will put water at the bottom. I wouldn't water them from the top anymore,
Oh, at
and
the bottom.
it would
So that's
suck it up
that
because
grew. Yeah.
naturally roots like to go and dig and get water from the bottom. They will actually grow better if they have to go and find the water. They're smart enough to go and get the water from the bottom, and you won't have to
Oh.
worry about watering all the time. You also, if you're doing it on a patio, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, put you a little compost tea or some liquid fertilizer in there that's organic. It will come up from the bottom of those roots, and you don't have to worry about disturbing that soil at the top to get fungus and different things like that. So I will look into
Oh.
doing it like that. Simplify everything you do. The grow bags soak it up like a wick. Okay?
Thank you. And one more question, real quick. What about in the greenhouse? Because like it doesn't rain or anything, and that's my biggest like struggle. Like, I don't. I just go by, like I said, like by intuition. Like I check it
You
all the
saying
time
in the
to see.
greenhouse? You have them in the greenhouse?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
have like most of the plants are in the greenhouse, but the trees that grow bigger, I have to move them out in the yard, and so
Do you have
they
a water
get
hose that goes to the greenhouse or no?
no. I just do it by hand.
No, no, I know, but the water hose
Yeah.
go. Oh, you saying like
It
you?
does. It can go, but I haven't set it up. I don't really. But I'm gonna check into that beehive thing that you talked about.
Okay, but first, this is what you can do before you get the beehive thing. Um,
Okay.
you can get a water hose adapter from Home Depot or Lowe's. You plug
Mhm.
your main water hose into the middle, and then it'll have 2 to 4, however many you need, other slots of water hoses on there. You take it as far as it'll go to the greenhouse. You can now connect the hose that you can have a sprayer on one hose. You can have another hose that you have like a sprinkler going back and forth. And what
Oh.
you need to do is, whenever you feel like they need to get watered in the greenhouse, you put that
Mhm.
sprinkler down on the ground, and guess what? It'll go back and forth. Or you have some that you can just put on a stick and tape it on there, tie it on there, whatever the case may be. It'll go round
Yeah,
and
like
round.
tie it to the top.
You put that
Mhm.
thing on, you go make you some tea or something. You come back and you turn it off. And you can do that
Oh.
however many times you feel like you need to do it. If you don't want to water too much, okay, I'm going to water these guys for like an hour. And then I won't have to do it again for about 3 days. And if you
Mhm.
water them too much, they'll depend on that. But if you water them less, then they grow better.
They'll learn how to survive like
Yes.
without.
So
Yeah.
make it
That's
simple
true.
like that. Get you a water hose adapter first, and then get you a beehive, and then get on YouTube and learn how to use it. Very simple, or whatever the case may be. Thank you very much for that
Thank
water.
you.
Yes, no problem. I thank you for calling in the show tonight because I'm sure other people needed to hear this or whatever the case may be. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right now. All right.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Okay.
Alrighty, the number again is 979-398-5875. 979-398-5875. Alright, so I was going over that with her when it comes to the watering system. I needed some water, speaking of that. We spoke about, these are just some tips for the end of the lesson. Building up your land with your own dirt. You can always call local people who have tractors or whatever, especially try to find the cheap places around town. They can dig you a pond if you just bought some land and use the dirt on your own land. If you don't, for example, we have a person who he works for a dirt pit. And so I get dirt delivered from him or locals around. And he can tell you which dirt do you use for a pad for your house. You can't just use any kind of dirt because then your house will sink. Or, you know what I mean? It'll have leveling issues. This is important. Once again, clearing land. You can actually, you can rent somebody, rent something to do it yourself or pay somebody to do it. Selling wood, selling dirt, selling hay. We spoke about that. Oh, really quick. Okay. 1 second here. Really quick. Let me fix the view of this. Let me make it a little bigger. All right, that's better. All right, that's a little bigger. Okay. Once again, what type of hay to use in your garden? I want to put this out there. It's very important. In the beginning, I was getting some hay. All right, and let me put this number up here really quick because people probably forgot. I should have had this. I didn't. Let me get this number really quick again. 1 second, guys. Let me just add it in here really quick so y'all can see it. me see where I can put it. 979. Y'all could just look on the screen and see the number. I got it right here. 398 5875. 1 second. Sorry about that. I'll have it on the screen next time. That's the call-in number, okay? If anybody still wants to call in, ask any questions. All right. There we go. Let me get back to it. Oh, what type of hay? Man, I found out that you can't, years ago that you can't just get any type of hay, because what happens is if you get hay that's sprayed with not fertilizer, but like, and I try not to get that one either, but not fertilizer, but I'm talking about like chemicals. Man, if you get that hay and you actually put that in your garden, whoo, sometimes, guys, that garden you had, it will mess your soil up for 7-8 years. And you're wondering why you're not growing anything. If you're using mulch as hay, please make sure you ask the people who are delivering you hay. And I pray it haven't affected you, but it have affected a lot of gardens who've done this. Get you some hay that's not sprayed if you can. If it's fertilized, at least, because they'll spray it with a fertilizer. Sometimes you put artificial fertilizers in your soil. But do not get the hay if it has some of these weed killer in there. Because if that gets in your garden, you may have to make your garden in another space. It will stunt the growth of your garden. Just like humans who have a horrible diet, their growth is stunted because they don't have good nutrition, it can happen in the garden. I just wanted to put that out there for the hay. Very important. When I'm selling my dung for my animals on my land, it does not have sprayed hay. They're eating grass. What she say here? Yes, ma'am. They're eating grass, and the manure. And so the manure from our land for the locals here, it is, it's not sprayed. It's the local grass around here, the local prairie grass around here. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Very, very, very important for the health of the animal, and also because they're rooming in their gut. This is very important. All right, connections and bartering, things you need to have. Cattle trailers, if you can get them, or you can just rent them from your local people if you can't afford one when you're moving your livestock, or pay somebody to deliver your livestock if you're getting it, or you need to slaughter your livestock. Once again, the benefit is you'll save a lot of money when you slaughter your meat. You know where it's coming from, it's clean, or whatever the case may be. We talked about fencing. We talked about what type of home, RV, mobile home, steel structure, a tent. A tent is just not ideal in captivity. One, people are going to think you're starting some type of community, whatever the case may be. Thank you for the glyphosate. That was on the tip of my tongue. I appreciate that. They're going to think you're trying to start some type of community because sometimes they fly drones and planes over, and Esau is going to tell. So if you don't have land that's wooded where you're minding your own business, you might want to be a little careful. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. Because Esau, when they check to see for your homestead exemptions, guys, they send drones. The county in Texas is sending drones over they'll send a drone over to make sure you're not lying that you have your bees. So even when you're homesteading, Esau is like an eagle still watching. I'm telling you right now. We have to make sure our bees are in full process, I think by the end of April, beginning of May. If not, they'll make those back taxes roll back, and you'll be paying all those rollback taxes, guys. Whoo! And and guess what? If you got land that was partial from hundreds of acres, you're not just going to pay your land's back taxes. You're going to pay all of the portion of those hundreds of acres because it was once one. So those back taxes will once, maybe if it was 100 acres on one. So you'll have to pay that, even if you just bought your land as a separate parcel. Understand what I'm saying? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will be the stability of our times. Once again, before I get off of here, I'm giving a chance for people to call in, just in case they want to call in. But I'm going to get me a little food and a little rest. 979-398-5875. You're not bothering me. You're welcome to call. If you have questions, I will call in. Okay? 979-398-5875. I will do a call-in show or Ask the Elders very soon when it comes to health questions, when it comes to this again. I'll do that again very soon because a lot of times I'm teaching a lesson so long I don't give you guys the time to call in. But, you know, we're going to change that. All right? Almost done here. We spoke about can you homestead full time? Sometime, see, I didn't put a question mark there. Sometime you have the intention on milking your animals. I have a whole milking machine. I think I have one or two milking machines. One for like the goats and then one for the cows, a bigger one. Sometimes, guys, you get so busy and swamped. If you're not going to be consistent with milking that animal, it's just don't start it. Right now, I was milking my goats, but right now I am not having the time trying to rebuild my new garden from the storms. And y'all probably like, Elder, that was years ago. Guys, I'm only one man. And I don't want everybody on my land. I just don't want everybody on my land like that. I love you, and you know I love y'all, but I don't want everybody on my land like that. Buy you some land. Work hard and buy you some land. If I call you, then we, you know, cool. But only a few people can come on my land because I got to know you like that. But, so, I'm building another part of my garden in a different type of way because I have some other plans. Sometimes it's like that on lands. You're like, oh, I don't want this right here. Oh, I want to move this over here. I got to a time where I said, oh, I don't want the chickens so close to my house no more. I want to put them further. So everything I'm moving further away. Because I didn't like the geese coming around. They coming on my porch in the morning time. The chickens coming on my porch in the morning time. I'm like, hold up, bruh. You on my step, crapping on my step. Hey, I don't even crap on my own step. What's going on here? Okay? So, milking the animals, I'm going to be honest, it's not the easiest job. When you are in captivity, I don't care if you have your own homestead, you work from home. You still have to work. If you was just rich and you don't have nothing else to do but do homesteading, okay, different story. Still going to be hard work. Still have to make sure you wake up in the morning time and have a system. Still have to make sure you can afford feeding them the proper diet, or if you're growing it. You talk about a continual system to produce continual results. It's like a woman. If she don't continue to breastfeed her child successfully, the milk will stop producing. There's a guy who has wonderful milk around here. And I buy like 8 gallons of cow milk a week, minimum, at $11. I mean, it's so expensive. I mean, Yarack told me I think he was getting it for like $7 where he's at. Man, you lucky, man, because the cost of living where you at is high and it's lower down here, and they still charging that. And they have another place that charges $15 a gallon. And I would pay it. How beneficial raw milk is, because that's what our forefathers and the angels were drinking. It's a big difference. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is a big difference than regular milk. It's like totally black and white, night and day. He wakes up and still works a job or runs his business at 5 a.m. He has somebody coming bottling the milk for him. All that. It's a whole process because he's serving the locals out here. To the point to where summertime, the animals don't like to milk as much. I have to drive there sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure I got milk for my babies. They know their daddy loved them. You know, and the white people be looking at me crazy like, how did this, you know what, make it here so early? Black people are not supposed to be drinking this. But brother, I'm drinking it. And obviously this is not all Esau. But I'll sometimes used to say, man, you got some on reserve? He's like, it's just first come, first serve. So I'll make sure I'm there. or whatever the case may be. But I had to ask the owner, I said, how are you producing consistent milk? He said, hey, well, I'm feeding mine's Bermuda grass. He brings in Bermuda grass. He has them feeding on roughage or hay, and then they also eat the grass. But they're not only eating grass. If they don't have that balance, just like in the scriptures of roughage and grass, the raw milk that I taste from Issachar, they've been living in Mexico too long. They taste buds and changed to where they can walk out of that milk place happy, drinking inconsistent raw milk. And I love my Issacharites, man, but I got to give y'all some credit for that one. I got to have some Judah in me or something, because that milk tastes just like grass and like somebody hadn't cleaned the udders and something else. One of them tasted okay, but the cream tasted like grass. So because some people are not consistent with how they homestead, the milk does not come out good. I've never tasted one bad milk from this Edomite guy. So we're going to have to up our standards the way we do things. Do things in decency and order, guys. That's why some people are afraid to drink raw milk, because they've had those experiences. So if you're going to homestead and call yourself selling milk and do all of this, you better make sure you're consistent and diligent. It's going to take some work. All right? It's going to take some work. If you have sheep, know what type of sheep, because you're going to have to shave the sheep. You're going to have to shear them. Sometimes the clippers from Amazon going to break on you, because they coming from China. Everything coming from China. See? So, I'm just saying, guys, these are some things you have to look out for. Can you afford it? If not, have the knowledge and time of how to use the earth. For example, I personally don't like carrying a bunch of concrete bags from a truck. It is very tiring. Yes, it's a great workout, but it is rough. I got a lot of respect for Issachar and the work that they do building this place, just like our forefathers did in the beginning. But it comes a time where you want to preserve yourself. There's a way to make ash. I tell you guys a lot of times, I'm studying old things by taking making concrete from wood ash, or like ash that they get from a plant where they can bring you to make roads. Okay, it's called fly ash that we have here. Take fly ash, sand. You can get this delivered from a trucking site of a dirt pit. Get you a pile of ash. Get you a pile of sand, and if they sell lime, a pile of lime. Lime is to alkaline your soil, but you don't really need this. I'm not talking about gardening right now. Or just buy you the light bags. I can carry the light bags of lime from Home Depot to Lowe's. You take you some ash and sand equal parts to 1 part of lime. Okay? And then you can get you some gypsum to make it cure faster. You can make your own bricks and your own concrete from this. So all you're doing is taking this and putting it in your own wheelbarrow. Putting a little water, making a little slurry of it, just like you make pancakes. You have your own concrete. You don't have to keep carrying these bags from Home Depot and Lowe's, 50 bags. Or just pay a lot of money to the people to come pour you some concrete. But I just gave you some top dollar game. And guess what? It works. The East Indians is out there building and using this in their country. Just making concrete instant when they want to. Okay? So I just gave y'all some game. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to maintain and to be great. So that's all we have for today. That's all we have for today. All right. Like I said, we'll be having some more shows on bread again. The power in bread. I might have to call it the power in bread. We're not talking about the bread from the stores. Oh, no. The power in that bread. The power in the Lugos iodine. Whoo, my people who's out there taking this Lugos iodine, Oh man, they already know what the deal is. My people who's out there taking this Lugol's iodine, they already know what the deal is. I can't even really say everything on here a certain way. Everybody already know when they get that bump on them. When they get that bump right here, when they get that bump right there, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you right now. You take your little DMSO and a little, you know what, that red stuff we just talked about there. You feel me? And then you can brush them haters off. Cause when you go to the white man in a white suit, you're gonna come home sad, and they're gonna take all your money from you instead of giving you, you know, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding like your teachers does. Some of y'all suffering from joint pain. Come on, holler at me and get you some omega-3, 6, and 9s. See what I'm talking about? All right, get you some of this good old moringa, one of the best trees in the earth. My man is suffering from testosterone. Elder, I'm embarrassed. Don't worry about it. Come holler at your boy. Get you some of this ultra test, and you're going to be at your ultra best. And you got to be consistent. Some of y'all don't get enough sunlight. Get you some vitamin D3 plus K2. And try to eat you some dairy products, raw dairy products, fermented products, so you can get you some K2 in that too. Come holler. Some of y'all got iron issues, and you didn't think it was that serious. Oh, now you want to call elder. You know how many people who, when I give them this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, now they want to call elder later? Listen, I'm not just saying that I don't know. The stuff I have coming on my Homestead site, I've been wanting to come out with it. But it's some things against certain things. So when you see it come out, you're going to see the wisdom come out, and then I'm going to have to let you put it together. When it comes to the iron, my sisters, if you're having iron issues, brothers, if you're having iron issues, brothers, your energy could be low because you're having iron issues and you don't know it. Holler at me. We're going to get straight to the point. We don't need you buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. I'm here to help you with what you need. A lot of people lacking iron, even men, and don't know how to absorb it. Well, I know that vitamin C helps you to absorb iron. It's deeper than that. You could be lacking iron from other situations. All right? So I got you. Don't worry about it. All right? Selenium helps to make sure that iodine is going where it's supposed to go. Ashwagandha. What do we always say? Ask your daddy and your mama, because it make them have a good mood. That's all I'm going to say. Men, you take that ultra test with that ashwagandha. Females, we do have another female enhancement coming out in the gummy form. Berberine for the gut. Turmeric in the good form. And these actually work. My gummies actually work. They're not just tasting good. Okay? So come and get you this emergency immune. I sell Supreme Mushroom Blend. I can sell a powder. I could have been selling a powder. It's the same thing you see on the market. All right? It's right here for you. Okay? Digestive enzymes before you eat in these restaurants and before you eat your food if you're having issues. And ultimately, and this is not the only thing, you can go in there and search for the other things. But if you have iron, come holler at us right here. We're going to show you how to use it. You want kefir, go to lionshomestead.com. We have kefir grains for you. And I have a whole plethora of stuff coming on my Homestead site. I have more supplements coming on here. Stay tuned, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. We let me tell you, I am working. I want to get excited and tell y'all, but I'm working. That's all you need to know. But guess what? We building the kingdom of heaven. That's all you need to know, baby. And we ain't stepping on no toes. See, we ain't got to step on no toes. Because we just pull it out of the atmosphere. We pull it out of the realms through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We don't need to go look about copycat nothing. See? You got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do whatever you want to do. And you're going to have to put in the time. Instead of thinking about getting rich, put in the time to help somebody, and the money will come. All right? Anyway, make sure you find you some raw milk in your area. Get with your local dairy farmers. It's very important for your health. Make sure you try your best to get you some wheat berries. Azure Standards is very cheap. You're going to have to get out there and help the people take it off, though. So if you don't want to do that, find you another site. I know some other sites. Yeah. Make sure you're eating your probiotics. We're going to talk a little bit more about that on the Academy. I'm going to break down the different probiotics. Okay. I wanted to always push people to kefir in raw things. So I have the kefir grains on my Homestead site. And I got some stuff. If you can't sleep and you ain't waking up good in the morning, stay tuned. I'm talking about consistently. If you ain't waking up, jumping up because you over 35 and you ain't jumping up in the morning no more, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got you, baby. Don't worry about it. Okay? I'm going to tell you, I got some stuff that's, anything I drop is life-changing. So sometimes you'll see me study for years, have a plan before I come out with it. That's even songs. I got songs in the studio, and they be mad at me. Why you ain't come out with this? Stepping in the Kingdom was years old. I got so many stuff that's years old that's still relevant today. Because guess what? It's the time of the Most High. I'm Elder Ariaga Bar. And once again, if you're just coming on the show, make sure you stop by historytimes.org. That is our Hebrew and Bible Academy. If you truly want to learn the Bible, we do have lessons like today on Tuesday, Wednesday on A Gathering 144, back on Thursday on GOCC Media, and Fridays on GOCC Media, and sometimes A Gathering 144 on Patreon. Then the Sabbath, we're on A Gathering 144. But on Sundays, it's a special day. Since people like to go to church on Sundays, we're going to give you church on Sunday. But we have to worship on Saturday like the Bible says. But we're going to give you church on Sunday too if that's what you want. All right? And you're going to learn some beautiful lessons. Just take a look right there. I love you all. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. And I have some biblical... I've been having this for so long. They like, Elder ain't giving them away. Trust me, I have so much around here to give away. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do a whole show on it. I don't know if I want to do a whole show on it because I'm just giving things away all day. But it may come on my Q&A with the Elder, where I have my biblical Bible questions, and then I'm doing my giveaways. The giveaways is already ready to go. Books, shoes, supplements, all that. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Shalom.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible